What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3SW Chapter 66. I, Kakuzu, Domineering Minister of Finance, First Order, please support. Advertisement when Orochimaru passed on Lan Yu's order. Jiraiya took people to monitor, so as not to have any trouble with eyes, and Kakuzu was even more excited to ask Ying to receive gifts. I said, why are you so excited? Jiraiya was quite speechless. Does this so-called 70-year-old grandfather's brain twitch? Kakuzu suddenly stared. Young man, do you know what a gift is? When Konoha was first established, all countries sent people to give gifts, no matter what their purpose was, but in short, Konoha made a lot of money. Money, tickets, that's fate, do you understand? I understand, but I don't understand why you are so excited. His eyes flushed as soon as he heard the money. Jiraiya despised it and couldn't understand it at all. Speaking of which, Jiraiya is quite puzzled. How did your majesty hand over the financial power in your hands? Are you sure you can manage it well? As Arrancar, Kakuzu is the only one, temporarily serving as the Knights of the Star Cross. But talents in all aspects of the Empire are scarce. April 17 is not only enough to fight. Kakuzu is about 70 years old anyway, and he knows a little bit about everything, especially paying special attention to money. So Lan Yu temporarily handed over the Imperial finances to Kakuzu. Hearing Jiraiya's questioning, Kakuzu suddenly exploded, full of suffocation. Little devil, I tell you, you can question my character, but you can't question my loyalty to your majesty and my devotion to Qian Liang. With the money in my hands, there will be no accidents. Who dares to embezzle or misuse the Empire's money, even if 1 cent? Kakuzu dared to go desperately. Since Lan Yu temporarily handed over financial power to Kakuzu. For some reason, Kakuzu cried all night. It was a heartbreak. He became Lan Yu's loyal overnight, as if he was a few dozen years younger and full of motivation, struggling for the economic development of the Empire wholeheartedly. Don't get excited, can't it work if I don't say anything? Seeing Kakuzu trying to kill, Jiraiya couldn't laugh or cry. I really can't withdraw money from this old man. Kakuzu snorted, and then walked towards the city gate swaggeringly. Real World City is a giant city after all. The city wall tens of meters in height stunned all the people of other countries outside the city. This is the Invisible Empire. Many people arrived early, but people from other big countries who were a few steps late saw this magnificent city wall and lost their voices. The increase in the city is nothing, but it is too magnificent, as if it is not a product of this era. Especially the wide door that is tens of meters wide. Through it, you can see the gorgeous building that can be continuous inside, and the tallest building can be seen far away in the faint. Broke all their imaginations. Even outside the city, the majesty and dignity that permeated everywhere made many people from other countries restrained. You fool, you B***************, this city is so cool, oye. The little killer bee sunglasses fell off, exclaiming uncontrollably. But no one cared about him, and they were attracted by the magnificence of True World City. How much manpower and material resources are needed for this, and how is it done? Fourth generation I took a deep breath in disbelief. This is the impoverished original rain country. Even the poor Tsunade who can't open the pot is not interested in it at all. One can imagine how desolate the rain country is. And Lan Yu has only been here for a few days, when such a majestic giant city appeared. Could it be that the spies really said that Lan Yu raised his hand and finished the transformation? Telling fairy stories is unacceptable. As Shang Yu said, in any era, a magnificent city itself is part of the strength of a country. If a country does not even have a decent city, it is a weak country. What a miracle! While many people sighed, their hearts were depressed to the extreme. Just outside the city, the so-called pride of a great country in countless people's hearts was shattered. This city, if found, it's hard to escape. Hatake is hidden in the team of Konoha and Fire Country. His hair is dyed black, he wears a face mask, forehead protector pulls down to cover his left eye, wearing Chunin costume, changing to an ordinary long knife, trying to hide his chakra. Such a huge city, if you say that there is no such protection as a powerful barrier, he will not believe it at all. It directly shattered his idea of sneaking into the country. At this time, Kakuzu came the fastest, even moved a huge table, put it on the ground and shouted excitedly. Advertisement, welcome to the Invisible Empire, the real world city. I, the Invisible Empire, Kakuzu, the Deputy Minister of Finance. Please call me Minister Kakuzu, Mr. Kakuzu, His Excellency Kakuzu, Lord Kakuzu, or Master Kakuzu. Looking at the huge table, everyone was unidentified, so some people were shocked when they heard Kakuzu's name. The one who fought with the god of ninja, really old and immortal. Although Kakuzu is an Arrancar made by the soul, it is still somewhat different. The condensed body can be seen by ordinary people. Come on, line up. Kakuzu sat down while directing, took out the pen and paper, and spoke earnestly. Since it is a gift, you can't just do it casually, otherwise it will be a humiliation to my empire. Small countries and small villages have less than 10 million taels of gifts, and those who leave the gifts will do. Big countries and villages with gifts less than 100 million taels, stay, people, get out of here. I go. Is there such an operation? Many people are open and glaring, even people in big countries and villages are a little unacceptable. The Invisible Empire is too domineering, we're here to inquire about intelligence. The guest is not here to surrender. Talent, in the hall. Lan Yu saw this scene clearly and didn't care about it. Anyway, he told Kakuzu that the Empire has no money. Since there is no money, it is reasonable for him to do so, right? Why? Can't you understand what I'm talking about or don't want to? Seeing no one moving, Kakuzu's face suddenly sank. He is willing to fight for the rise of the Empire's economy, but the key is that the Empire has no money. Isn't the gift just giving money? If you don't give it, go or die. Kakuzu deeply realized the feeling of backing behind, full of security, and spoke sonorously. I tell you, don't think that I don't know what you want to do. Isn't it just to inquire about intelligence? Congratulations. If you don't want to go because you don't have enough, you can come to my IOU and enter the city, and the Empire will come to ask for debt. Ruthless. When the words are up to this point, everyone can only recognize it. It's impossible to be angry or anything. God knows if Lan Yu is watching. Shout. A bunch of rubbish. At this time, a fat man with Kirigakure forehead protector, long orange hair, sharp teeth, and a big knife sneered and led people to the table. As he walked, he looked at other people disdainfully, sneered. This is the so-called land country. Thinking about inquiring about intelligence and not willing to spend more money, I am afraid that this is afraid of that. This uncle will feel ashamed for you. Who is this fat man? Everyone stared sharply at the fat man, only to see the fat man wave his hand to beckon people to put the gift on the table, and open his mouth very cheeky. The Kirigakure 3.6 gift is worth about 40 million taels. Give me another 60 million taels. Don't worry, I'm the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish Ghost, my character is guaranteed. The crowd booed. It's not the same as a poor man. The words, Watermelon Mountain Puffer Fish Ghost, can't help but make people look at it. It was one of Kirigakure's first 7 ninja swords. It is rumored that 7 people can join forces to capture a small country overnight. The Puffer Fish Ghost is the owner of the big sword Samahata and is extremely powerful. Take the IOU, don't try to make mistakes. Kakuzu stared at the Blowfish Ghost and remembered him in his heart. When the mission team came back, immediately let them go to Kirigakure to collect the account. Yes, interest must be added. 9 out of 13? Do not. Double every day, that's it. Kakuzu smiled greedily and cruelly. The Blowfish Ghost doesn't know that Kakuzu adds all the interest, otherwise it will definitely be crazy. I'm here to give a gift. Your IOU is doubled every day. Grab money. Chapter 67. Konoha Fire Country gift shocks the audience. First order, support. Advertisement, correct. Thinking of what? The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost is a little hard to tell. Master Mizukage sent a message that the tail beast was snatched by the Empire and asked him to question Lan Yu. But Kakuzu's sorrowful operation of receiving gifts like this, and the magnificent real-world city, suddenly made a lot of Blowfish Ghosts. Seeing this, Kakuzu snorted coldly. If you have anything, let it go. It's great to have a backer. It's over if anyone is unhappy with the hard shell. No. It's all right. Thinking that this is not Kirigakure, the Pufferfish Ghost is finally in the end, so I decided to ask about the tail beast slowly. Seeing the Pufferfish Ghost taking people in and swaggering in, Kakuzu immediately called to stop. Give me all weapons such as kunai, shuriken, detonating talisman, knives, etc. here. The Empire does not allow people from other countries to carry any weapons. The Blowfish Ghost and the ninjas behind stared. Kakuzu's green eyes stared wider. You dare to stare at me? This is the rule set by the Great Invisible Emperor. Come on, unload all their weapons for me. Jiraiya also came with the sacred troops at this moment, aggressively. Damn it, the Empire is too domineering. Everyone felt uncomfortable, and many people wanted to leave 07 on the spot for a while. Seeing Kakuzu's sharp eyes, the people of the small country didn't dare to move at all, for fear of attracting revenge. But the big country still endures it, and intelligence matters. Damn it. The look of the Pufferfish Ghost changed for a long time, and then he gritted his teeth and put the big knife Samahata on the table. I am a top famous knife, don't touch it randomly, otherwise The more he thought about it, the more angry he got, and the Pufferfish Ghost went into the city immediately, otherwise he would not be able to control his anger. The knife is there, and the knife is dead. The sword is the lifeblood of the 7 ninja swords, and the Blowfish Ghost can endure it as the limit. Cloud Shinobi Village gift, about 100 million taels. 4th generation I came with Killer Bee and a dozen Cloud Shinobi, and directly put the gift and weapons on the table. Kakuzu was ignored and he went straight into the city. Kakuzu didn't care when he saw this, as long as the money was in place. It was even more difficult for Chiyo to bring people forward. This superclass puppet master who was rampant on the battlefield had a very embarrassed expression at the moment, and he wanted to turn around and leave. Lord 3rd Cage, our gifts are not enough. Seeing Chiyo's expression changing, another Sand Shinobi smiled and said, the Tsunade gift is about 10 million taels. Give us an IOU. After that, all Sand Shinobi couldn't help but lowered their heads. They are not the thick-skinned fat puffer fish ghosts. Put down weapons, enter the city immediately. Chiyo didn't want to stay here for another second, and rushed into the city after speaking. Thinking that he was so famous for thousands of generations, and he was wrong here, she said that she would never forget it for a lifetime. Konaha, congratulations 100 million tael. Elite Jonin Yuri Zhenhong, who led the team, put down the gifts and weapons and was about to take people in, but was directly stopped by Kakuzu. Konaha's give me a stop. For a time, the atmosphere was solemn. The hidden Hatake Sakumo also tightened his body. After all, it's a gift. Even if you have a grudge with Konaha, you shouldn't be angry with Yurima's body. However, he is different. The threat of Konoha's white fang is far greater than that of Yuri. There is no guarantee that Lan Yu will not do it, which is why Hatake Sakumo hides. Yuri Mikoto's heart burst and frowned slightly. Your Excellency Kakuzu, you said that the great country Omura presents 100 million taels, is it okay? If I remember correctly, Konoha offered a reward of 3 billion taels. Kakuzu's words made everyone in Konoha on guard, and when Kakuzu said this, he was so angry that it was because of this reward that he was miserable. Although it's a good time now, the process is horrible. The brutal beatings of the two little boys, the cruelty of His Majesty, Orochimaru's brutal experiments on him, and so on. It is worth remembering for 800 years by Kakuzu. Others showed expectant gazes, and wanted Konoha to fight with the Invisible Empire. Yuri Zhenhong immediately said, misunderstanding, it's all misunderstanding, Hokage-sama has withdrawn the reward the day before yesterday. Lan Yu's identity is different. As the lord of a country, Sarutobi dared not put up a reward at will, no matter how he hated it. Of course, the most important thing is Lan Yu's strength. The reward is useless at all. Kakuzu didn't look good at Konoha's people, and said blankly, you really want to go to the city, just 100 million taels is not enough. Advertisement. Yuri Zhenhong squeezed her hand tightly, and took a deep breath. How much does it take? 1 billion taels, 5 billion taels? Don't you think it is too much? 3. Ma. My mother, I started thinking about 500 million, but suddenly I felt that it was a little bit small and then changed it to 1 billion taels. You actually thought it was 5 billion taels? For a while, Kakuzu felt that he was missing. Konoha is really a big dog. Kakuzu also took the opportunity to change his words. Who told me to be kind-hearted, then 2 billion taels. This. I also realized something. Yuri was really red and blushed. She was pitted on Konoha. But whether 1 billion or 2 billion is too much, Yuri Zhenhong couldn't help but cast his gaze to Jiraiya not far away. What can be ushered in is Jiraiya's ignorance and indifference. Yuri Zhenhong's heart sank, and Jiraiya has changed so much. Sorry, it's red. Jiraiya sighed inwardly. He didn't want to get close to Konoha at this moment. At the moment when he understood that Quincy could live forever and how powerful Lan Yu was, Jiraiya recognized the reality. The wall grass will only arouse Lan Yu's anger. Only if he stands firmly on the side of the Empire and works hard for Lan Yu, can he get a trace of mercy from Lan Yu to Konoha. The main thing. Seeing the happy smiles on the faces of countless people in the Invisible Empire. Jiraiya's heart was shaken. Your Majesty and us, who are immortal, can definitely bring peace to the shinobi world. Ninja peace is the truth, and the long-term peace. Jiraiya feels great. Haha, real-world city is really amazing. Just when Yuri was really red and couldn't speak, a gorgeously dressed, 60-year-old elder from Fire Country walked over with a big smile. Yuri Jonin, you and I belong to the land of fire, and both serve the daimyo. Konoha's gift, my daimyo mansion is out, in addition. Speaking of this, the old man in Chinese clothes looked around ninjas from all over the world, his eyes flashed with faint disdain, and shouted. The great name of the country of fire is a congratulatory gift for the establishment of the Invisible Empire. 10 carts of all kinds of treasures, 100 beauties, tens of thousands of cattle and sheep. A total of 10 tons of various types of food, a total of 20 tons of various metals, 10 billion taels of money. Hiss. For a time, many people took a breath. 420 Yuri Zhenhong and Hatake Sakumo were also a little dumbfounded. Even the blowfish ghost, 4th generation Ai and Chio who had just entered the city turned their heads in shock, and looked at the old man in Huafu with wide-eyed eyes. For a time, his eyes were red. At this moment, almost everyone has the urge to rob the old man in the Chinese clothes, and they want to take away all the gifts. There are too many resources in the country of fire, which is the fundamental reason why the major powers never stop encroaching on the country of fire. Why do you occupy so many resources in the country of fire? They are not satisfied. Snapped. The old man in Chinese clothes clapped his hands suddenly, which also made everyone regain their senses. I saw the rear, which is the borderline of the country of fire. Tens of thousands of Fire Nation soldiers came in mighty and majestic. If they hadn't seen the carriages, cattle, sheep, and grain they pushed, they would have thought they would fight the Empire. The old man in Huafu was quite calm, and said again. May our country of fire and the Invisible Empire reach an alliance. Coexist in harmony, advance and retreat together. Making friends is the purpose of the name of the country of fire. What to inquire about intelligence? So what? All the daimyos in the country of rain are killed. If one day Lan Yu kills the daimyo mansion, who will stop? After hearing about Lan Yu's deeds, the fire country daimyo couldn't sleep at all. Even if he was not a ninja, he knew how powerful Lan Yu was. Konoha can't stop it. The guardians around him can be regarded as a fart. It's still important to get some blood to save your life. As for giving Konoha resources, the idea of letting Konoha kill Lan Yu only stayed in the daimyo's mind for less than a second before giving up. In case Lan Yu survives, then he will definitely die. The name of the country of fire. Lan Yu's father begs to let it go. Lan Yu. Go away, I don't have a son like you. Chapter 68. We and Lan Yu are not in the same dimension. First order, support. Advertisement, good. 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 Kakuzu doesn't care what the fire country daimyo thinks in his heart, and can't help laughing at this moment. The more he looks at the old man in the costume, the more pleasing to his eye. The country of fire is so rich. In Kakuzu's mind, he thought of 10,000 plans to persuade Lan Yu to send troops to the country of fire. This friend, it's not right. Why are you so stunned? Why don't you give this big brother a seat? Kakuzu shouted, got up quite enthusiastically and walked over, grasping the hand of the old man in Huafu, and asked warmly. Big brother looks like a high-powered person, full of momentum. Dare to ask his name? Your Excellency, you're welcome. I'll just stand. My name is Kishimoto, and my name is Oda. Good name, go. I will take you round the city. Kakuzu held Kishimoto Oda's hand tightly, not too lazy to look at the rest of the people. Go and accept the gift from the land of fire. I will take my big brother for a walk. Don't neglect the friends from the land of fire. Everyone's eyes twitched, and Jiraiya was also a little speechless. The mentality of many people has collapsed. Your difference is too obvious. But they can't say anything. If someone gives them so many resources, they just kneel down and call dad. Trouble. Many ninjas such as 4th generation have a heavy heart. Although these resources should not be enough to change Lan Yu's decision. But reach out and don't hit the smiley man. Even Lan Yu couldn't be embarrassed to yell at the country of fire for no reason, right? Of course, this is what they think. Since Lan Yu will not attack the fire country for the time being, if Lan Yu wants to expand his territory, he will definitely attack other countries. You must know that Lan Yu said that he wanted to unify the ninja world. With such a powerful force, how could he be willing to have such a small territory in the empire? But now it's useless to think about anything. Everyone slowly enters the city to gather information. The empire did not entertain them at all. Just wander around as long as you don't violate the laws of the empire. As a result, many people separated directly. Look, this street is so wide. Every one of these buildings is gorgeous. Look at that tall building in the distance, it's too magnificent. My god, is this city really in the same world as us? These civilians are really enviable. I was thinking of investigating information for the first time, but most people were fascinated by the various buildings in real-world city. Broad, clean, atmospheric and magnificent across the ages, this is everyone's impression. Especially some people who have been to the land of rain, are even more impressed by the changes of the times and have to be shocked by Lan Yu's handwriting. When I saw many civilians coming out of the luxurious big houses, they were filled with happy and relieved smiles, which made many people feel a touch of soul. Such a smile, it is extremely rare even in their country villages. But almost every smile here is very warm. Lan Yu is not only powerful, but also so high-tech. Hitaki's heart is under great pressure. It can be said that the current invisible empire is very good in all aspects except for its economic level and resources. If everything here spreads out, I don't know how many people are willing to live here. The one that worries Hatake the most is Lan Yu, this man who is rumored to have the power comparable to the god of ninjas not only fights, but also has a lot of wisdom. Everywhere you can vaguely hear the worship and admiration of many civilians towards Lan Yu. How long is this? Is it brainwashing, or is Lan Yu really good to civilians? The former is terrifying, the latter is even more terrifying. This means that Lan Yu's ambition is not just a ninja, but to take everyone in the ninja world. These buildings 4th generation I and Little Killer B turned around. The more they looked at the building, the more things went wrong. When 4th generation I couldn't help touching a pillar, Ran realized that it was not any kind of material he knew at all, and then his heart sank to the bottom. As in the legend, the wooden house made by Senju Hashirama is also very special. It seems that the spies are probably true. In fact, villages in various countries have long received what the spies said. Lan Yu raised his hand to destroy the building of the Kingdom of Rain, and then raised his hand to build a magnificent giant city. But, who wants to believe it? But at this moment I have to believe. They seem to be in a different dimension with Lan Yu. 7 ninja swords. Puppet Master Chiyo, future 4th Raikage, 8 Tails Jinchuriki. Father of Shirihong in the future, father of Hatake 5 and 5. These people are very young now. Lan Yu sat on the throne and saw everyone who entered the city clearly. Advertisement: a part of the true world city is the original Rain Country building shattered and reorganized. But most of them are built by Lan Yu mobilizing Lingza. Lingza cluster can use Lingza to make any building and other things. Therefore, the entire real-world city is considered Lan Yu's domain. No ant can escape his detection. Hitaki's so-called disguise has long been exposed in the eyes of Jiraiya and Kakuzu. After all, his Ryatsu is obviously stronger than the others, and he can't hide it. But as Lan Yu said, today is a gift. As long as there is no trouble, everything will be fine. Afraid of me killing you? I underestimate my skills. Lan Yu really didn't think about killing Hatake Sakumo here. But he was thinking about how to counter Hatake Shumo. Talent is not important. The important thing is that if Hatake is rebelled, Sarutobi and Danzo must have wonderful expressions. The more upset they are, the more upset Lan Yu. This Konoha that has been swallowed by countless traversers. Lan Yu is going to fight it. Conquer Hatake Sakumo. What do you think you should do, Orochimaru? Hearing Lan Yu's question, Orochimaru was shocked when he was called. Your Majesty is completely cutting off Konoha's roots. Sannin left Sarutobi to vomit blood. If Konoha's white Fang's teeth are excavated again. Isn't 3rd Hokage going to die of anger? Orochimaru thought for a while, and said in a deep voice. Your Majesty, if you want to subdue a person, it's nothing more than coercion and temptation. No matter how strong he is, he always has what he wants and his own weaknesses. And there is really no desire, no demand, no concern. God can't do it. Lan Yu can't help his jaw. no matter what intelligent creature it is, there is no absolute preference for death over surrender. If it does, it can only explain one thing. The intimidation is not strong enough, the temptation is not enough, you are not strong enough. The most direct, Lan Yu kills Konoha, threatening Hatake Sakumo with the lives of everyone in Konoha. He had to surrender. But Lan Yu didn't bother to use this little trick. Why bother? Thinking of something, Lan Yu decided to let Hatake Sakumo recognize reality. Go and prepare a glass of sake, and bring him here by the way. Yes, your majesty. Hearing Lan Yu say this, Orochimaru also instantly knew Hatake Sakumo's choice. That is with Jiraiya and Tsunade, same choice, on the street. When Hatake Sakumo was about to find a commoner to chat, he saw Jiraiya approaching, and he was about to go around calmly, but Jiraiya stopped him directly. Senior Shuamao, your majesty is looking for you, come with me. Is this exposed? Hatake was shocked in his heart, and when he was about to make some choice, he saw Orochimaru land instantly. Don't think about leaving, or the Empire will kill Konoha. You. Hatake's eyes were extremely heavy, and he couldn't help but speak. Is it up? I think the disguise is very good, and I haven't leaked a trace of chakra. How do you recognize me? It is too unacceptable to be recognized so easily. Orochimaru licked his mouth and said flatly, when you have met your majesty, you will know. Is that so? Hatake Sakumo didn't expect the two of them to answer, and he directly abandoned the idea of escaping from the real-world city. The two are no longer in the past, fighting will only lead to greater horror. When the time comes, not only will he not be able to run away, but they will also die when it's really red. Lead the way. Hatake Sakumo couldn't help smiling inwardly. Real-world city experience is really bad. All his ninja methods can't produce corresponding effects in true world city, and Hokage's expectations of him are also empty. Captain, what should I do? Not far away, Konoha's people could only stare. Yuri Zhenheng is also very helpless. Attacking? That is everyone's death together. Nothing is possible to survive. Hatake Sakumo didn't resist. What else could he save? Wait first, if there is nothing wrong with him, then it will be fine. If something happens, you immediately leave here, I will break it. Yes, Captain. Chapter 69. Konoha's White Fang, Surrender in Despair. Seeking Support, First Order. Advertisement. After a while, in the luxurious hall, Hatake Sakumo finally met Lan Yu, the great demon king who has sensationalized the ninja world many times. Lan Yu sat calmly on the throne and looked down at him. Is this the lord of the invisible empire? At this moment, Hatake Sakumo felt at a loss. It was a feeling that life could not be controlled. Konoha's White Fang. Lan Yu looked at the very famous Konoha's White Fang, who was also one of the most regrettable powerhouses on the original trajectory. Of course, Hatake Sakumo is best known for having a son named Hatake Wuwakai. Your Excellency Lan Yu, what do you want me to do? Hatake spoke under pressure. Although honorifics were used, the body stood straight and the eyes were full of fortitude. From this point, it can be seen that Hatake Shumo is not the kind of man who committed suicide because of some rumors. No matter what conspiracy is involved, no matter what Hatake Sakumo thought at the time. What Lan Yu wants is only to give Sarutobi Danzo good luck, one more talent in the empire. At this moment, Orochimaru came over with a glass of sake. Lan Yu went straight to the subject. What you most want to know is my information, and the source of Orochimaru's power. These. All of them are dripping into my blood. Those who drink my blood wine will gain strength in the same line as me. But again, his life and death are in my control. Hearing the last sentence, Orochimaru raised his eyes slightly, but there was no extra expression. It seems to have guessed it a long time ago. Power has its price. Lan Yu never hides this, it's all meaningless things. The root of all power 423, sure enough. Thinking of something, Hatake Sakumo couldn't help but watch Orochimaru, and said solemnly. Your power is more than that, otherwise, Sannin won't betray so easily. Even if you are strong, you will eventually get old. A determined ninja like Jiraiya, if you are only strong, even if you are dead, he will send out information to let Konoha target. If you can't do anything, you can also keep a fire for Konoha. Konoha Tinder spreads the ninja world incognito. If 10 years are not enough, 30 years, 50 years. When you are old, when you are no longer so strong, or waiting for the fire to show hope, so as to rebuild Konoha. The reason why a ninja is called a ninja is because of the word ninja. Speaking of this, Hatake thought of a certain possibility, and his heart became even heavier. But Jiraiya didn't do that at all. I can even tell from his eyes that he is truly loyal to you. What on earth is it possible to make Sannin make such a decision? Orochimaru looked up. Lan Yu looked at Konoha's White Fang with interest. Lan Yu motioned. Speak your thoughts. Hatake Sakumo's voice became more serious. There are only 3 possibilities I can think of. First, the more people who have experienced war, the more they understand the cruelty of war. They see the hope of ending the war from you. After all, you are not only powerful, but also ambitious, and you have more people in your heart. They want to see you unify the ninja world, let the empire pass on, and let the ninja world no longer have wars. But this possibility was directly rejected by Hatake Shumo. Sannin may have this idea, but it is definitely not the most important one. Second, your power has a certain brainwashing ability that directly changes the minds of others. Hearing this, Orochimaru's eyes showed a dangerous light, and he said in a cold voice. Hatake Sakumo, you guess, but don't use your narrow heart to guess the greatness of your majesty. Hatake also rejected it, not because Orochimaru said so. But what he saw was that a king like Lan Yu was disdainful of using this method, otherwise he would have changed now. Then there is only one possibility. Hatake Sakumo took a deep breath and forced himself to keep calm. Despair, only deep despair. Only if Konoha has no hope, they will work hard to change their hearts and surrender to you. Only by working hard for you and paying loyalty, can there be a trace of fire for Konoha. This kind of despair not only is your strength beyond imagination. More importantly, no matter what Konoha does, no matter how much fire is left behind. No matter how many years of patience, a century or 1,000 years will not be able to reproduce the despair of hope. Absolutely, desperate, he actually guessed it? Orochimaru was slightly surprised that Konoha's white fang still has a few brushes. Curved to save the country. How desperate. Hatake Sakumo indeed guessed that Konoha has no hope. They can only find hope from Lan Yu. This is Jiraiya's choice. It is impossible for others to guess. Only by hearing the explanation of Lan Yu's power inheritance, feeling the current pressure of Lan Yu. Recalling the process of Lan Yu growing up, the growth of Kushina's children, and Jiraiya's loyal eyes, he only vaguely guessed something. Advertisement, but that possibility is too incredible. Lan Yu smiled inexplicably. Then, your choice. At this moment, Hatake felt that he couldn't breathe anymore. It is not Lan Yu's pressure, but his various thoughts, AHDG, make him too heavy in his heart. The more you think about it, the harder it is to breathe. Call. Hatake Sakumo took a deep breath, before condensingly said, do I have a choice? Those placed in front of him either flee from the war or drink blood wine. Lan Yu calmly looked straight at Shuamao. You seem to have misunderstood something. I have always been very generous to talents, provided that I don't offend me. Measurement. Hatake murmured, it was time to choose. A meaningless death is better than Konoha for hope. Reading Hitaki's eyes, Lan Yu popped a drop of blood into the sake. Orochimaru handed it over and said, remind you, the process is a bit painful. What? Hatake Sakumo couldn't help but sneered, how can a ninja be afraid of pain? Gulu was bored. In the next moment, Hitake's face turned pale. Pain. The soul is torn, don't hurt, congratulations to your majesty for getting a member of Admiral. Seeing this, Orochimaru congratulated him immediately. He knew that when Hatake Sakumo drank the blood wine, he would understand how cruel despair Jiraiya and Tsunade felt. The nearly immortal Lan Yu, the immortal Quincy troop. How can Konoha resist? How can we not despair? Only crawling under your feet, longing for the invisible hope. Of course, that was the first thought of Jiraiya and Tsunade, when they saw the happy smiles of more and more civilians in the invisible empire. The thinking of the two gradually changed. How can one know the suffering of war without experiencing war? The existence of Lan Yu and Quincy is the only one that can bring peace to the ninja world. And yes, near eternal peace, they're willing to give everything for it. Konoha, Lan Yu still discovered that Konoha has so many talents. Talents are coming every 10 years. Most of the younger generation was poached by Lan Yu, but the next generation still has a lot of geniuses. For example, Namikaze Minato, Senju Nawaki, and the next generation include Kakashi, Might Guy, etc. Shisui and the like are younger. The next generation will be incredible. At a glance, it's all hungry. Sure enough, deep despair, when Hatake Sakumo survived the pain and felt his own strength and transformation, his eyes dimmed a lot. The feeling that life is hard to decay, Konoha will eventually become history. The information is useless, on the contrary it will only make Konoha even more desperate. Don't think too much of Konoha. Your Majesty's goal is the entire ninja world. Konoha is no different in His Majesty's eyes. Surrender, to live, resist and die, it's that simple. Orochimaru came over and patted Hatake on the shoulder. Don't even want to use the so-called loyalty to change any decision of your majesty. If you want Konoha to survive, it is better to show absolute power when attacking Konoha and force everyone to surrender in order to kill. Do you understand? Hatake Sakumo shook his body. The one that I see most clearly, is it Orochimaru? Orochimaru also knelt on the ground when he turned around, saying, Your Majesty, I have passed over, please punish me. Little things are guilty. Orochimaru said that Lan Yu didn't want to explain. Is there a difference between Konoha and Ueno? After they surrender, they don't live well. Why do people always regard him as a big devil? Lan Yu is also very tired. Lan Yu. I just want to bring peace to the ninja world, what's wrong with me? Lord Madara. I also want to bring peace to the ninja world, what's wrong with me? Countries. It's our fault, dads. Chapter 70. The Last Dance, the wood-style tree world is coming, First Order, support. Advertisement. Lan Yu sat peacefully on the throne, bringing terrible pressure to Hatake Sakumo. Can only listen to the whispers of the king. Hatake Sakumo, you will stay in the empire from today. As for your family and clan, I will send someone to take it over in a few days, so that you can save your worries. This is going to Konoha to grab someone. Hatake was silent for a while, half-kneeled. Come. Thank your majesty. It's not just Hatake Shumao. Lan Yu suddenly found that he had overlooked a lot. That is the subordinate's family. Makoto's relatives, Tsunade's relatives, Kushina doesn't know if there are any relatives. In short, take it over whether you like it or not. Otherwise, Konoha F4 day group, no, now it is F3 day group, if you are anxious, you will bite everything. The order is, go down, outside the city, prepare a luncheon for all the gift-giving people. Yes, your majesty. Orochimaru was puzzled this time. Those little people need to care? And, why are you outside the city? Lan Yu looked at Hatake Sakumo. You should withdraw too, as nothing happened first. Yes, your majesty. Hatake Sakumo gave a grateful look and immediately stepped back. He understands why Lan Yu did this, not to hide him or let him go undercover, but to protect his family. After all, Makoto's family is in Uchiha and Tsunade's family is in the Senju clan. But he is just a small family. If news of him spreads out now, his family is in danger. At this moment, Hatake Sakumo also felt the difference between Lan Yu and other high-ranking people again. Hold a luncheon. Under the watchful eyes of major countries, witness your arrival. Lan Yu looks into the distance. You finally recovered. I don't know how much waves can be caused by your appearance in the world of Shinobi. Outside the real world, 4th generation I and the others sat separately on the dining table outside the city as if sitting on a water table. For a time, all people were very awkward and aggrieved. What does it mean? Don't we even have the qualifications to eat in the city? Seeing that everyone didn't want to eat, Kakuzu suddenly became angry. What are you doing? Wasting food. Do you know how many people in Quan Ninja Realm can't afford to eat? Do you know how much the Empire cost these meals? A bunch of bastards, this is all money. The last sentence is the point. Everyone knew clearly about Kakuzu's character of being extremely greedy for money and his brothers. Such a person can really be a good deputy minister of the Ministry of Finance? Kakuzu snorted coldly. Whoever doesn't eat, get out, don't enter the city. Damn, they never want to come to this city again, many people think so. But only a little bit of information has been discovered until now. How could they be willing, so they can only bite the bullet and eat here? At the table, Yuri Zhenheng said in a low voice, what are they doing with you? It's strange, it seems that Hatake Shumo has not been exposed. But why was it taken by Orochimaru, and where? Hatake was silent for a moment, and said flatly, I was discovered by Lan Yu, Orochimaru took me over and was seen by him, and then let me go. What kind of operation is this? Yuri Zhenheng was also dumbfounded, completely confused, and didn't doubt anything. After all, everyone didn't know Lan Yu very well and didn't think Hatake Sakumo would lie or anything. Hatake Sakumo smiled bitterly, what can I say, I am also desperate. As soon as the intelligence said, all present were dead, and Konoha was all destroyed. Said that he had surrendered, regardless of whether it was true or not, as long as it was passed back, it was true. Sarutobi is hard to say, Danzo will definitely take his whole family. So, it's better to just say it casually, anyway, it won't last long. At this luncheon, everyone was very unhappy. Kakuzu was also very unhappy, it's all money. But when someone finished eating and was going back to the city, Orochimaru came. Wait a minute, everyone. The reason why you are allowed to eat outside the city is because there is a strong man who is coming and can be seen outside the city for the first time. It will be here soon. The strong? Everyone can't figure out their heads, which shadow is it? There is a lot of discussion, and they are all discussing who is coming. 4th generation I's heart beats wildly, isn't it a father? Are 3rd Kazekage and 3rd Mizukage qualified? Does Sarutobi Hiruzen dare to come? After much deliberation, only 3rd Raikage in the ninja world can be called a strong by Lan Yu. Jiraiya and Kakuzu also cast their eyes. Orochimaru shook his head, he didn't know. The person who can make your majesty call a strong person is already dead, right? Could it be? Broken. Thinking of something, Orochimaru became alert. Advertisement, Jiraiya, Kakuzu, cheer up, huh? Meet the enemy? Jiraiya's head is full of question marks. Kakuzu was upset, and said with disdain. Ah, in my heart, only your majesty is the strong. What kind of cats and dogs are also worthy of being strong? You let him out, see if the old man won't kill him. Orochimaru. I'll leave it to you for a while, I'm optimistic about you. Humph, young people are just timid, Kakuzu looked up proudly. It's time to show off the strength of the old man. It is said that after becoming Arrancar, I haven't had a good fight, and I was used by Orochimaru as soon as he gained strength. Ryatsu town was on the operating table, it will never happen again. No matter who it is, let the old man rest, boom. Suddenly there was a terrible roar, the ground began to vibrate crazily, and the long and narrow gully began to spread. What's the situation? The expressions of Kakuzu and others changed slightly, and they always felt that there was a big horror about to come out. That is. Jiraiya looked forward and saw that the abyss where Lan Yu had split, countless branches began to spread, and he couldn't help being stunned. Wood. Orochimaru, you made it. Orochimaru squinted his eyes slightly. I have no fantasies about branches. As we all know, Mutong is the signature of 1st generation shadow. Thinking of this, the ninjas who came to give gifts looked solemn. Can't let this wood pass the gate. 0, look for flowers. Seeing that the group of branches had crossed the abyss, Orochimaru Byron raised his hand. Fantasy creation. Spiritual barrier. With a hum, the huge light blue barrier directly blocked the front. That thin layer of light grass gave many people the illusion that they couldn't be broken no matter how they were hit. Mutong birth of the tree world. Beyond the abyss far from the door, a figure of Haki quickly sealed. With a low, soft drink, the huge chakra erupted like a mountain whistling a tsunami, and the abyss was torn apart again. Hiss. Under the shocked gaze of everyone outside the city, countless towering trees burst out of thin air on the flat ground and abyss. In a blink of an eye, a vast forest was created and directly filled the abyss. Madly struck towards the city gate. No, I can't stop it. The forest that struck like a tsunami made Orochimaru look dignified, and an attack of this scale could definitely break the barrier. Fantasy creation, the magnificent forest, boom. In the next moment, a large swath of trees also gushed out of the ground where everyone was, and slammed toward the incoming forest. But the scale of the two is very different. The forest of Orochimaru was directly destroyed and covered. Lingza concentrates the flame. Seeing this scene, Jiraiya and Orochimaru release the spirit child flame together. Dozens of fire pillars formed a barrier, sealing all the front. Kakuzu snorted coldly. Whoever you are, the invisible empire can't be provoked. Ring. Kakuzu disappeared instantly, towards the other side of the abyss. No matter how strong the enemy is, we must perform well. Loudly, Arankar's fast-moving method is similar to Shinigami Shunpo, but the Quincy flies Leon's feet. This is the first time you use wood style. Such scale is no weaker than Senju Hashirama. Looking at each other in the distance, Haki's figure looked at the front, and Black Zetsu beside him couldn't help whispering. Although I don't want to admit it, my wood style is quite different from Hashirama. Only Hashirama can make this man so recognized. Hearing the other party's words, Black Zetsu nodded slightly. Now you, absorbing so much vitality, should return to the heyday. Heyday. Hearing Black Zetsu's evaluation, the hockey man's voice was very indifferent. A product of a mere volition. How do you understand what kind of power I have in my heyday? This body is inherently decayed, but it's just the last dance. Still so arrogant, Black Zetsu's heart is very heavy. The last dance, did you move that Demon King? Black Zetsu is deeply concerned about this. P.S. In some paragraphs, there are always a few special symbols, numbers and messy words. That was a system audit problem and the author was helpless. In addition, ask for the first order, ask for flowers, ask for evaluation, ask for monthly pass, and ask for support. Please leave a message if you have any questions or ideas. The author does not want to stand alone. I am grateful. 10,000, Chapter 71. Coming will leave a name? My name is Uchiha Madara, First Order, Support. Advertisement. Oh. As soon as the man's voice fell, Kakuzu flashed quickly. I didn't bother to see who the enemy was, and I didn't hesitate to raise my hand and prepare to release Sero. As soon as I arrive, I want to break the city and go to death. Late. The little mouse who was let go by Hashirama. Watching Kakuzu's violent kick, the man's expression did not change at all. He was full of indifference. The next moment, disappear in place. A powerful force came from his abdomen. Kakuzu's complexion changed drastically, and he was kicked out directly. In a flash, it flew up to 100 meters and smashed into the sea of trees. Seeing this, Black Zetsu reminded. Their abilities are all weird. You shouldn't use physical skills. The third Tsuchikage was killed after getting close. Really, let them please me. Hearing Black Zetsu's words, the man coldly hugged his arms, revealing the aura of being out of everything. Seeing this, Black Zetsu didn't say anything. After all, how rich the opponent's combat experience is. Quack quack. Dozens of figures crossed the forest-covered abyss, rushing all over. Orochimaru and Jiraiya frowned as they watched Kakuzu flying upside down. Seeing the crowd rushing, Kakuzu stood up again feeling very embarrassed by the 430 explanation. I was careless, there was no flash. When Kakuzu looked up again, he felt weird in his heart. The other party became more familiar with each other as he looked at it again, and subconsciously drank coldly. Can kick me flying, I must not be an unknown person. Will you leave your name? Everyone stared at the front. A wild and unruly black hair, dressed in a blood-red ninja armor from the Sengoku era, the whole body exudes a huge aura that no one can match. The deep black eyes of the visitor were instantly scarlet, holding his arms high and condescending, giving people a great sense of oppression, and he spoke indifferently. My name, Uchiha Madara. Wow, everyone was shocked and their eyes widened in amazement. Uchiha Madara, what a joke, didn't he die long ago? This look of about 30 years old, no matter how old it is. Especially Kakuzu, the whole person is sluggish. I said how so familiar, isn't it the ninja Shura who kept calling 666 not far away when he assassinated the god of ninja decades ago? The huge shock caused by wood style outside the city shocked countless people in real-world city. Soon, the sacred troops calmed down the commotion. And Lan Yu, standing at the highest point of True World City, looked at the figure of Haki in the distance. With this gesture, there is only you in this world. Even if Uchiha Madara fails in the end, Lan Yu cannot deny that he does have a different kind of Haki, and it has left a deep fear in the ninja world. How could he be so young? The brains of 4th generation Chio, White Fang and others roared, and Chi-Chi looked at the man who looked like a devil in front of him in disbelief. Also, how did the wood style just come from? The horns shivered all over at the moment. I wanted to behave in front of your majesty, who knows that this is such a smashing guy. But when he thought of the other party's age and Lan Yu's existence, Kakuzu suddenly became hardened and shouted. What about Uchiha Madara? It's not your time now. Also, who knows if you are real? Just let the old man come and try you. Eat him up. Late night. Kakuzu returned directly to the blade, and the ground became a sensation. Unlike Espadon 0.9 becoming an octopus, Kakuzu did not become a monster, but his body was raised a few meters, like a hill, full of momentum. The Zanpakuto on the left hand is also like an anemone, with a mouth in the middle, swallowing everything. As an Arrancar transformed from the subordinate Manos Grande, Kakuzu's own abilities are not very strong, but he can swallow all the power that can be swallowed. Infinite fusion evolution is the characteristic of Kakuzu. Seeing this, Jiraiya solemnly said, regardless of whether it is true or not, his destructive power is too great to allow him to enter the city. Of course, how can he easily disturb our king? After Orochimaru was horrified, he became excited. This is a man of the same name as first generation. That attitude of seeing all things as ants is worthy of Ninja Asura. With you, do you want to dance too? Uchiha Madara spoke proudly, and the pair of three-hooked jade turned unhurriedly, blooming with a mysterious and dangerous light. Fire style extinguished the fire. Uchiha Madara completed the seal in no time. Opening the mouth is an extremely blazing high-temperature flame, forming a huge wall of flames covering everyone in front of you. This range is shocking. B-level ninjutsu is so fierce. Not good, retire. Advertisement 4th generation I and others didn't want to fight at all. After all, Madara came to trouble Lan Yu, and the people who came to give the gift didn't even think about it. Fantasy creation, clone, fantasy creation, tsunami. Orochimaru's current imagination is not enough, so he created dozens of clones to strengthen his imagination, thus creating a magnificent tsunami of tens of meters out of thin air. Wow! The huge sea of fire collided with the tsunami. With the sizzle, a thick mist formed in the blink of an eye. Large scale, wholly lost. Virtual bomb. Jiraiya condensed a huge arrow in the sky, and Kakuzu also exploded a virtual bullet that was 20 times faster than hypocrisy, directly attacking Madara behind the dense fog. Different from the energy of chakra, it hurts the soul. I saw it with my own eyes and felt it myself. Uchiha Madara realized the different systems Black Zetsu said. This kind of energy is similar to soul energy, and it really feels extremely dangerous. Boom. As Uchiha Madara's 3-go jade turns, the blue chakra flame rises, and chakra forms a burly skeleton to cover him. Susanoo, the first stage, service. The 4 chakra knives crossed together and broke openly. The earth was split instantly, and the slash burst out. The incomparable 4 slashing smashed vertically and horizontally, collided with the virtual bomb and the sacred destruction. The huge explosion suddenly made the eardrums of the ninja watching from a distance roar. 3-go jade, can you also use Susanoo? Orochimaru and Jiraiya's complexion slightly condensed. And it's only the first stage, it's even more dangerous than the mature body that Mikoto tested yesterday. Madara. I can still open the beetle without eyes. In the next moment, Uchiha Madara and Susanoo disappeared in place, and a fatal danger spread through the whole body of the Kakuzu 3 people. 0. Ran looked up and saw Susanoo appearing above him while driving, and the 4 chakra knives made a huge blow. So fast, can Susanoo still run like this? Jiraiya exclaimed, dodged the slash instantly, and directly released the small divine destruction to test its defense. At the same moment, Orochimaru also imagined 4 blows to collide with Madara's slash. Kakuzu is even more awkward. From just below Madara, there is a Sero. Boom. Uchiha Madara covered Susanoo and turned over in half. A knife collided with Sero, and a knife smashed into a small divine destruction, like dancing in the air. Susanoo became even bigger immediately after the move. The second stage in an instant. Chakra flames were filled with meridians and flesh and blood on the basis of skeletons, and the 4 knives disappeared. Susanoo opened his hands and condensed a dozen dark blue gouaches connected together. The Guyu of Yusaka. Madara's counterattack speed far exceeded the imagination of the Jiraiya trio, as if the trio were destroyed by Madara, even with a powerful counterattack. Boom boom boom. More than a dozen Tomo, like energy bombs, instantly submerged the 3 of them, producing a huge explosion. Hiss. Hatake Shumo, who was far beyond the onlookers, couldn't help being shocked. The current moves are not gorgeous, and the attack intensity is not high, but Uchiha Madara's reaction speed and attack speed seem to be completed in an instant. It doesn't give people a chance to react at all. Woo. After one move, Uchiha Madara did not stop, and hurried directly to the True World City. The speed was extremely fast. He crossed the forest abyss in the blink of an eye, and began to seal 100 meters away from the city gate. Fire style, the fire is gone. A fireball that looked like a meteorite fell, directly forming a sea of fire at the moment it fell 3.6, and swept towards the city gate in an endless stream. No, stop him. Orochimaru and Jiraiya, who appeared from the realm of shadow, changed a lot, and they didn't stop Uchiha Madara. But if even the city gate was destroyed by Madara, it would be big. Fantasy creation, multiple water walls, large scale, wholly lost. Orochimaru looked into the distance and imagined creating dozens of thick water walls out of thin air in front of the city gate. Jiraiya condensed huge arrows at the same time. 1 defense, 1 attack. At the moment when the sea of fire was blocked, the huge arrow turned into a lightsaber and fell from the sky, directly rubbing against Uchiha Madara's Susanoo like a laser. Scare. Kakuzu also rushed out of the ruins, with wounds all over his body. However, they rushed over with Orochimaru. Seeing the 3 of them attacked again, Uchiha Madara's pupils exuded a lethal deterrent, and his momentum was similar to all directions. Don't waste your efforts, only Hashirama can stop me. Chapter 72. Lan Yu. Meet for the first time. Hello, Ninja Dance King, First Order, Support. Advertisement wood style multiple wood clone technique. In the next moment, the same scarlet-red Madara refuted battle armor, the same arrogant and solemn aura. 10 identical wood clones surrounded the three of Orochimaru. I won't say that you are despicable 3-1, the game is just right, now 10-1, don't say I am despicable, I am not interested in your dancing. Uchiha Madara's wood-style clone said coldly. The next sentence made Jiraiya's trio frowned and their hearts shook. Next, let me ask you a question, whether these clones use Susanoo or not, which one is better? What? Everyone's expressions have changed drastically, is it possible that these clones can use Susanoo? Are you Chanla? Can you do that too? Uchiha Madara cloned her arms and said in an indifferent tone. Can you not answer at all? Then let me answer. Yes, 10 Uchiha Madaras emerged from Susanoo at the same time, and they attacked together. Boom boom boom. Suddenly the three of them fell into a fierce melee, roaring. The 10 Susanoo moves are so fierce that the Orochimaru three have no chance to breathe. Chio and others in the distance were all staring at it. We reported that someone opened up, it's not as good as me. Uchiha Madara said proudly, and then continued to walk towards the gate. 07 4th Generation I and the others who watched the battle were extremely heavy. Who would have thought that Ninja Shira who should have died is so young now? If he attacks Ninja Village, who can hold it? When everyone secretly relayed the news, Black Zetsu's heart was heavy. The 8-person group that day, only 2 appeared today, if they were both in the city. No, even if they are not there, it is impossible to retake Rinnegan in this state alone. Although Uchiha Madara can open Suzu without eyes, Black Zetsu understands. Susuo alone is not enough, Lan Yu is the real devil. This city, outside the city gate, Uchiha Madara can't help but look at the magnificence of real-world city, which is really amazing. Unfortunately, you showed up too late. A black light struck. Black Zetsu, who was observing secretly, saw that Uchiha Madara seemed to be attracted by the castle and didn't respond, and couldn't help but exclaim, Ban, be careful. Don't die here carelessly, it's over, this is. Without looking back, Uchiha Madara caught the black light and held it in his hand. Looking down, it is a black box. As the owner, Uchiha Madara can feel the power connected to it. That is his own alone, Rinnegan's pupil power, and intact. Actually, returned back, have you been underestimated? Open the box and make sure it is Rinnegan, which makes Uchiha Madara almost unsatisfied. He came to grab it, you took the initiative to send it, what do you mean? You can choose not to. At the moment when the words fell, Lan Yu's figure appeared in front, which immediately attracted everyone's attention. He is the Demon King Lan Yu. The little killer bee in the distance stared straight, staring at the Lord of the Invisible Empire. Looks handsome and gentle, but a little cold and proud. That kind of complex temperament combined with the invisible coercion that radiates, makes one dare not look at it. Ninjas above elite Jonin, such as Chio and Pufferfish Ghost, are even more tense. The stronger, the more terrifying aura from Lan Yu's body can be felt. Looking at the Uncle Madara in front of Haki, Lan Yu calmly said, Meet you for the first time, hello, King of Dance. In return, I will save your life. Uchiha Madara quickly adjusted her mood and gave Lan Yu a cold look. Bobo. Without a word, I just snapped my eyeballs. Many people were stunned in this scene. Rinnegan was also recognized by the 4th Generation I fan and almost exclaimed. Lan Yu. Deserves to be the dance king. This kind of direct button eyeball and then press the eyeball behavior. I don't know how many medical ninjas died of crying. Pressing Rinnegan on, Uchiha Madara felt his own power, and after a while opened his eyes and looked at the true world city. This city is really good. In the next moment, under the astonishment of everyone, Uchiha Madara quickly moved away from here and headed towards the country of fire. Lan Yu couldn't help but smiled. What an arrogant man. Advertisement similarly, Lan Yu disappeared. Many people looked confused. Little Killer Bee looked at it. You idiot, you jerk, where did they go? Don't you fight anymore? 4th Generation I did not answer, but also sighed. Both of them are so arrogant. If you guess right, Rinnegan is Uchiha Madara. I don't know why it ran into Lan Yu's hands. In this case, Lan Yu proudly sent Rinnegan back, wanting to play against Madara at the Pinnacle. And Madara arrogantly told Lan Yu to save Lan Yu's life, and did not want to destroy the city because of the battle, which was regarded as a reward for Lan Yu. Within the land of fire, far away from True World City, Uchiha Madara stopped. Fire Country. This world is so small that there are so few areas to open up and expand the territory, and it is barely enough for me to toss. Hearing the sound of footsteps coming from behind, Uchiha Madara turned around and spoke indifferently. You're ending, join or die, is this the choice for me? Lan Yu didn't take it seriously, and said with certainty, this world really can't accommodate 2 kings, but your vision is only that. Uchiha Madara's eyes were cold. Want to provoke me? Stupid? I can't reach other dimensional worlds at the moment, but do you know the meaning of the universe? The Void Throne emerged. Lan Yu sat down like a king and Haki looked down at everything. Seeing this scene, Uncle Ban was inexplicably upset and was forced to get hurt. Uchiha Madara said coldly, what the hell are you going to say? In the universe, there are countless lifelike planets like Ninja World. The Otsuki family comes from a distant alien planet. They have a lifespan of thousands of years. They can also use molds to reincarnate. They are existences that transcend death. Lan Yu's words made Madara frown. Just listen to him continue. The purpose of the Otsuki clan is far greater than yours. They devour everything, including life on many planets in the universe, by constantly planting sacred trees on outer planets, and they continue to evolve to become incomparable and unique. Until the moment of becoming a god. Damn, what the hell is he going to say? The secret black Zetsu is going crazy. Lan Yu won't just explode me like that? 1,000 years of life? Swept the universe? Devour the sacred tree? Purpose becomes god? Suddenly, Uchiha Madara received some shocks in his heart, and asked indifferently. Are you from the Otsutsuki clan? Wrong. I will conquer the Otsutsuki clan. Lan Yu's words silenced Madara. Regardless, Lan Yu continued. I don't know if you have heard of Otsutsuki's last name, but Sage of Six Paths is called Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Uchiha, Senju and even Uzumaki are all his descendants. The steles have been tampered with by Black Zetsu. 433 He would never leave the surname of Sage of Six Paths. After all, in the eyes of Black Zetsu, it was an insult to his mother. Black Zetsu. Hakata also has the surname Otsutsuki. So Lan Yu thinks that Ban should not be clear about his name and the goddess of Mao. And Sage of Six Paths and Black Zetsu will not leave any information about Kaguya. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, Otsutsuki. Uchiha Madara whispered the name and closed her eyes slightly. He seemed to see that it was an extremely large and prosperous planet. There, countless sacred trees have been planted, and there are countless strong men. A planet could not accommodate Otsutsuki's ambitions, so he looked at the universe. Ninja World is just a back garden. The peace he pursued, even if realized, could be destroyed by the strong of the Otsutsuki clan at any time. This makes him extremely excited. After Hashirama died, how lonely he was. The only obsession is to gain peace for the ninja world in his way, to prove it to Hashirama. I thought that after peace in ninja world, he had no goals. A person who can only be numb lives in the world and enjoys loneliness. But now, the strong, countless strong are waiting for him to challenge. Such a vast universe, such a powerful race, it is really exciting. Uchiha Madara couldn't help getting excited. It was an arrogant state of mind that he couldn't wait to fight with him and invite the universe to conquer everything. At the same time, there was great hostility towards the Otsutsuki clan. Ninja World is the place where I and Hashirama were born. Are you also worthy of being a back garden? Chapter 73. My class would like to call you the strongest, Tengai Shinsei. Advertisement. For a while, Uchiha Madara was in agitated mood. Otsutsuki clan, wait for me to conquer. Seeing this, Lan Yu sat on the throne and slowly said, as a gift of intelligence, when I defeat you, how about following me? What makes you feel that you can beat me? What arrogant young man, Uchiha Madara suddenly spoke contemptuously. Similarly, I also give you a chance. When I step on you, it is your only chance to surrender. Cherish it. Haughty Madara. Lan Yu was very satisfied with Madara's answer. In that case, this is the agreement of the strong. I don't want you to say things like unwilling, impossible, unacceptable. This is not my peak after defeat. It's ridiculous. Are young people so arrogant nowadays? Uchiha Madara didn't bother to speak, and the lavender Rinnegan shone with a palpitating light. The words fell off. Two huge auras erupted at the same time. For a while, everyone who had just arrived to watch the game felt hard to breathe, as if they would get hurt if they got closer. Lan Yu raised his eyes slightly, fighting momentum. Boom. Ryotsu transforms the beam into the sky. A huge roar resounded in all directions, and the Ryotsu beam directly blasted the clouds open, and violent airwaves swept away. Titicaca. Chi-Chi, who had been fighting for hundreds of meters, was shocked and cleared instantly. Uchiha Madara couldn't help taking a few steps back, stomping deep footprints on the ground, looking solemnly at Lan Yu ahead. That momentum has a fatal crisis, which makes his soul unbearable, but it is not focused on himself. But such an opponent is really exciting. This kind of momentum. Okay, I approve of you. Uchiha Madara couldn't help letting go of pride and lamented Lan Yu's aura, but it made him even more awe-inspiring. Among the opponents I have fought, no one compares you in terms of momentum. My class wishes you to be the strongest. Brush. Lan Yu and Madara disappeared in place at the same time. Titicaca. A roar rang in the air, unfolding in the air like a phantom. The physical collision between the two is dazzling. The collision of the two human bodies emits a huge sound, and there are constantly trees around being shattered by the energy generated by the two human bodies. The ground between the woods was bombarded with pits one after another. Hi, that's... Can physical combat alone be able to produce such damage? Pufferfish Ghost, Chio and others watched this scene in horror. Fourth generation I also has a heavy face. Ninja Shura, Demon King Lan Yu, it's really scary. He thought his father was the strongest in physique, and he could harden 8 tails. Seeing this, fourth generation I felt that the world had suddenly become much bigger. Hard 8 tails? One kick can kick 8 tails to the sky. Is the ninja body brittle? Doesn't include Madara and Hashirama? They don't just rely on bloodline to dominate, they're top in every aspect. You must know that Hashirama's weird power is much stronger than Tsunade, and the ground is torn at every turn. How to contend with Hashirama if physical skills are not strong? Boom. 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 I only saw Lan Yu transform into a white light, performing physical skills with extreme speed. Every move is swift and fierce. And Uchiha Madara's movements are wide open and powerful, but they are extremely agile. The speed of the two is difficult to distinguish with the naked eye. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, it would be difficult for them to imagine that the human body could reach such an extent. During the battle, Lan Yu said, "A man with haki like you, if he is subdued, he must have a sense of accomplishment." Hearing this sentence, Uchiha Madara also unceremoniously responded, "A good young man like you, if you work for me, it must be very pleasant." Between words, each other is full of appreciation and sharpness. Today, one person must be down, and one person must be out of the world. Bloody outfit. Lan Yu's expression condensed, carrying an unparalleled force, and blasted Madara's kick with a punch. Huge spiritual power burst out instantly. All the surrounding air instantly compressed, and suddenly a majestic starburst shape was wind. Boom. Facing Lan Yu's outrageous power and crit, Madara's pupils condensed slightly. Having to protect with both hands, the whole person was blown away severely by this huge astral wind in a blink of an eye. Hiss. A gorgeous and violent red lightning flashed in the air, and Madara plunged directly into the forest ruins. Lan Yu turned around and fell on the throne, calm and calm. At this moment, everyone held their breath. Power and speed are above me. Uchiha Madara Haki got up and still looked at Lan Yu proudly. "Very well, you successfully pleased me." Advertisement. However, I said long ago that the only person who can fight me is Hashirama, but he is no longer there. This is a good thing for you, because... In the words, an unparalleled chakra burst out of Uchiha Madara. The tyrannical chakra is like a storm. With me alone, the rewritten map would not be that big. Heavenly obstacles. When everyone shook Madara's eruption of chakra, they suddenly felt that the entire sky began to darken. All the clouds in the atmosphere are dissipated by the extremely powerful air currents. A huge meteorite with a diameter of more than nearly a kilometer suddenly descended, like a natural disaster coming from the end of the day. What is that? At the same time, Kushina and Makoto were taking Terumi Mei and Kisami's spirits to and fro in the land of fire. But at this moment, they saw the huge indescribable meteorite falling in the sky, and the terrible power of that piece made them unable to believe their eyes. Are you kidding? The end of the world? Terumi Mei and Kisami's brains are blank. The meteorite is really too big. Kushina couldn't help but lose her voice. This is not a small meteorite. Madara is serious and creates a real horrible natural disaster. Makoto was surprised. Ryotsu is down in the distance, and there is another person. No, this person has such a strong pupil power. Your Majesty is fighting the strong. This should be the opponent's ninjutsu. What? It's fake. Terumi Mei and Hoshigaki Kisame were completely shocked. Obviously it is the end, but you say it is the enemy's ninjutsu, or the enemy of the demon lord Lan Yu? After regaining consciousness, Kushina's eyes brightened and said, "Don't look at the size of this meteorite, it has no effect on your Majesty, on the contrary." Your Majesty, shoot, it's exciting, let's go and watch the battle. No, Terumi Mei's eyes were full of despair, and it would be fatal to watch the battle. Kisame, who heard these words, couldn't help but bow deeply to the unmasked Lan. The power of God. Seeing this scene descending from the sky, Shio and others who watched the battle were all in shock and despair. If a meteorite of this size falls, it will cause dozens of miles of land to collapse completely. The kind that doesn't grow in a blade of grass, they have no chance to escape at all. That's, run away. For a time, many Konoha shinobi who performed missions in the country of fire were shocked. It is true that the meteorite falling from the sky is too terrifying and will be a disaster in the country of fire. As expected of Ninja Asura, the three of Orochimaru who rushed to halt it in their footsteps, and Kakuzu's face was deeply shocked. It was such a terrifying ninjutsu when I shot it. It seems that Senju Hashirama really spared my life at the time. You just know, Jiraiya flips Byakugan. First Hokage really wants to kill Kakuzu, it's useless to struggle. Such ninjutsu doesn't make sense to me. Looking at the sky like a doomsday scene, Lan Yu sat quietly on the throne, without any fluctuations in his tone. At this moment, Uchiha Madara's lavender Rinnegan's pupil power fluctuates again. Next, I want to see how you can cope with both hands on her chest. Uchiha Madara, who was proud and independent, showed a look of expectation. Wheel Tomb Side Prison. 4 shadowless and invisible figures appeared. Ban's unique ability, using the round tomb to split his own shadow, is extremely powerful, and ordinary people can't see it at all. Only when Rinnegan is turned on can see it, or perceive it by practicing 6 paths. This ability. The 4 shadows appear directly in Lan Yu's eyes, seeing clearly. Just because the shadow contains the spirit and mind of Ban, and the essence contains spiritual energy. But it is undeniable that this ability is very good. Boom. Lan Yu's Ryotsu swept over, and under Madara's surprised gaze, the 4 shadows suddenly stopped in place, unable to move. Multiple divine destruction. Lan Yu's fingertips instantly released dozens of small divine destructions. Crossed, as if dozens of lasers pierced through 4 shadows. The shadow smashed instantly. Great Sage, Sun, in an instant, a huge spirit with many arrows shaped like a giant spear condensed in the sky, full of violent spiritual power. The terrifying energy entrained on it made Madara stare. Orochimaru and others are also breathing stagnant. The big sacred bow, the most destructive form of the holy destruction monomer, they are currently unable to use it. Boom. Under the shooting of the holy bow, it seemed as if the whole sky was torn into pieces and killed. The huge meteorite burst directly under the arrow's attack, turning into countless rocks and falling from the sky. The remaining power is endless. A huge arrow blasted directly through the sky, forming a huge hole. Countless crushed stones hit the territory of the Country of Fire, setting off storms and dust in the sky. Countless people were awakened, and the Country of Fire was shaken. Chapter 74. Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara says no martial virtues, seeking support. Advertisement, so easily, destroy my Tengai Shinsei and the edge of the tomb hell? Seeing Lan Yu burst into such a powerful attack without raising his hand, Uchiha Madara's pupils flashed with surprise. He subconsciously looked at Lan Yu, who was still sitting on the throne. No dust or storm can get close to him, this posture is really unpleasant. The Dance King Uchiha Madara felt underestimated. Fei Lian feet. Bloody outfit. Just when Uchiha Madara was preparing to warm up with dozens of meteorites, Lan Yu disappeared in place. The next moment he appeared in front of Madara and kicked it fiercely. Madara's reaction was extremely fast, raising her hand was a terrible outbreak. Shen Luo Tianzheng, the invisible surging repulsion exploded frantically. A ball that directly formed an absolute defense spread rapidly around Uchiha Madara's body, and the earth collapsed instantly. This is not a half-hearted part of the original track Nagato, it has no flaws and is extremely powerful. Spiritual power burst. Lan Yu didn't choose to hide from the Shadow Realm, he wanted to break all the others' pride. Under Uchiha Madara's surprised gaze, Lan Yu's huge spiritual power gathered crazily, revealing an unmatchable aura all over his body, and the high-density spiritual power condensed to ultimate. Lan Yu knows very well that the body is the foundation of everything. Although all his abilities are very strong, he also wants to experience the blood of fist. Galaxy Starburst. Uchiha saw Madara Lan Yu making a fist with his right hand, and the brilliance bloomed on it like a galaxy, full of violent power and energy. Boom! Under Madara's solemn gaze, Lan Yu shattered the repulsive force that swept through with a punch, breaking a huge hole. And directly blasted out a terrifying starlight that seemed to swallow the sky and the earth. Brush. Uchi 130 wave Madara reacts extremely fast, quickly avoiding. After all, Madara was able to grab the second generation from Flying Thunder God, and at the moment of dodging, chakra broke out. Mature body Susanoo. The blue chakra flame rose up, and instantly enveloped Madara's body, turning around again, the fist of Susanoo materialized suddenly blasted past. Boom. The terrible forces collided with each other, and then there was a momentary sound. Susanoo was shattered, Uchiha Madara's pupils shrank. After Susa was broken, the starburst's majestic power remained undiminished and suddenly slammed into Uchiha Madara, causing it to turn into lightning again and fly out. Lingza concentrates the flame. Lan Yu did not stand still. A terrifying flame beam erupted directly at the place where Madara smashed. Light up the sky and rise to the sky. The extremely hot high temperature melted the surrounding earth in an instant. From the ruins in the distance, the surviving ninja was dumbfounded and silent. Are they really human? Everyone can't help but have this question. Excuse me, can I make a seal? Boom, next moment. A huge shadow rushed out of the condensed flame of Lingza. When the shadow fell into people's eyes, everyone's breathing became stagnant. This is a mighty god who is dressed in ancient battle armor, with wings covering the sky appearing on his back, and holding a samurai sword in each hand. Like a demon, overlooking the earth, completely, Susanoo. Makoto, who rushed in very quickly, looked at Susanoo who stood upright in a daze. This is the AHFG power that the Uchiha clan used to be crazy about. Wow, your ninjas on land are terrible. Terumi Mei Loli was really shocked, her small body couldn't help but tremble. Kisami's heart was about to stop. Those Konoha shinobi who were attracted by the various vibrations of the Country of Fire can see clearly from thousands of meters away, and their brains are blank. It's completely beyond their definition of a ninja. Only Hashirama can let me use this trick, so be proud. Uchiha Madara stood proudly in the diamond-shaped crystal in front of Susao's forehead, looking condescendingly at Lan Yu, who was as tiny as an ant at his feet, with an indifferent expression in his eyes. Finally appeared. Facing Uchiha Madara's arrogant attitude, Lan Yu chuckled slightly. This is the style of the Dance King in his heart. Immediately, Lan Yu flew to the sky, level with the class. Seeing Lan Yu can fly, Uchiha Madara's interest reached its peak. Since the battle with Hashirama, it has once again made me feel excited. Uchiha Madara's purple Rinnegan was full of excitement, and showed all the aura. Do you have more powerful moves? Come on, please me as much as you like. During the words, Lan Yu, who flew into the sky in front of her eyes, had an indifferent sneer at the corner of Uchiha Madara's mouth. Sen Luo A sword. Everyone only saw the complete body standing up to the sky in front of them. Susanoo raised the super long sword in his hand and slammed a sword at Lan Yu who was flying into the sky. Tear. A sword tore through all the atmosphere ahead. As if the heavens and the earth were eclipsed, they seemed to be beheading everything. Nice power. Advertisement. In response to the incoming slash, Lan Yu took out the exterminating cross knife. Sword pressure. Hoki's full cross knife immediately sent in a huge slashing wave like Seiya, colliding with it, and the world roared instantly. Sen Luo was directly destroyed with a sword. There was more aftermath across the ground, tearing up indefinite gullies. The strong aftermath formed a storm, and anyone who tried to get close to the crowd was torn apart. Such a blow. Seeing Lan Yu raise his hand to launch such a terrifying slash, Uchiha Madara couldn't help but lose consciousness. This is incredible in the shinobi world. After seeing multiple energy bombs in Lan Yu's hand, Uchiha Madara's eyes flickered slightly. Is it that kind of energy attack again? Quack quack. Lan Yu projected the psychic bullets extremely fast, but Madara was surprised that multiple psychic bullets fell around Suzu in an instant, very calm. This made Madara, who was about to fight back in twilight. These energy bombs did not explode. Wrong. When the police saw the faint smile in Lan Yu's eyes, Uchiha Madara soared up into the sky without even thinking about it, and slashed at those spirit bullets by the way. It's useless, these spirit bullets are extremely difficult to destroy. Lan Yu opened the distance calmly, and it started as soon as the spirit bullet hits the ground. You fly to the Kingdom of Thunder, and it can still be activated. Quote. What's the meaning? Uchiha Madara felt bad in her heart, but she couldn't feel any danger at all. She immediately drank coldly. Boy, do you really think I can't help you? It's true. Witness the surprise. Lan Yu decided to give Ban a big surprise. Using the altar. Boom. The spirit bullet suddenly bloomed with blazing light, and directly enveloped the huge Susanoo. Form a huge 5-star array. At this moment, Ban suddenly found that his Susanoo had lost control. Do not. It was he who lost the power to gather Susanoo. Wow. The huge Susanoo suddenly collapsed. What have you done? Uchiha Madara, who controlled Rinnegan's gravity to stand in the sky, was also stunned. Where is my Susanoo? How hot is my Sasa? Although Susanoo is a kind of ninjutsu, the third power that can only be unlocked when Mangekyo Sharingan is turned on, Mangekyo is only the key to Susanoo. Once opened, Sharingan is not a necessity, so he can open his beard without an eye. But at this moment, he seemed to forget this power. It was as if the gate was closed and could no longer be used. Under many stunned eyes, Lan Yu, standing high in the sky, uttered 7 words. Completely. Su, Zuo, Kan, Ping, Boom. An extremely flaming spiritual flame rose from Lan Yu's body, and in a blink of an eye a golden light was condensed into Susanoo, who was dazzling and huge as a mountain, holding double knives and wings on his back. The terrifying aura swept all directions, and it seemed that the earth couldn't bear its continuous cracking. Like a god of war, overlooking everything. At this moment, the audience is silent. Even Kakuzu, Uchiha Makoto and others opened their mouths wide. Uchiha Madara lost his attitude for the first time, and his eyes widened a bit. Report, someone is here to hang up. And Lan Yu, standing in the spirit crystal above Susanoo, folded his arms and spoke proudly. My name, Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, Hashirama, this kid is more annoying than you. People eating melons. My mother, the city will play. Uchiha Madara was speechless for a while, and his thoughts were stuck. This young man doesn't speak martial ethics. It feels really good. Controlling Susanoo, Lan Yu suddenly understood Madara's hockey. But it's not just standing high, the feeling that the ants in the ground can be crushed to death with a wave of hands has cultivated the spirit of the class. He evolved from Hōgyoku, and he moved in 2 directions with Yhwach in all aspects. For example, to usurp the altar, its original intention is to take away the opponent's power. But spiritual power and chakra are not the same system at all, and Hōgyoku cannot take Susanoo away, but Lan Yu evolved from Hōgyoku can. Turn the original meaning into the true meaning. Usurp the altar. Take away the opponent's power and turn it into one's own use. Purely literal. Take away the power of Susanoo. Chakra changed to spiritual power, absorbing so much knowledge and talents of ninjas, Lan Yu has a deep understanding of chakra. As for pupil power and spiritual energy, that's it for simulation. Uncle Ban is messy in the wind. Chapter 75. An instant slash, an incredible defeat. Seeking support. Advertisement. Boy, you upset me more than Hashirama. Uchiha Madara gave Lan Yu a very high and special evaluation. You know, the big pillar has an unparalleled status in the heart of Uncle Ban, who can compare with it. Seeing Uchiha Madara's messy and unsatisfactory expression, Lan Yu silently took a photo with the camera, and then said flatly. Do you want to dance too? Damn it. Uchiha Madara expressed irritation. The opponent not only usurped his complete body, Suzuo, but also kept playing him. This kid is really the same as Hashirama, the same annoying. If you think you can beat me with this little trick, then I advise you to go back to sleep early. Uchiha Madara quickly recovered his composure, and Rinnegan's amazing pupil power went on aggressively. Put your hands together and Chadenla broke out. Planetary devastation. Sen Luo Wanjian. At the moment when Uchiha Madara opened planetary devastation, Lan Yu controlled the entire body Suzuo, wielding 2 knives extremely sharply, and chopped countless terrifying slashes. In an instant, the atmosphere shattered. Countless slashes like a light phantom sword dance, densely forming a sword net covering the world. Sweeping crazy towards Uchiha Madara. Shen Luo Tianzhong. Madara directly gave up planetary devastation, the terrible repulsion burst out from Madara's hands, the sky and the earth roared instantly, and the invisible repulsion came out with unimaginable power. Boom. With a huge roar, countless people in the land of fire could not help but become deaf. The terrible repulsive force destroyed all the slashes, and blasted Lan Yu's Suzuo several miles away. The land around more than 10 miles, instantly flattened. The onlookers will die in an instant. As expected of you, Uchiha Madara. Lan Yu, who stopped, couldn't help but admire the power of the class's Shenluo Tianzhong. Only the Shenluo Tianzhong did not increase the super, it was more than 10 times stronger than the one just used, and increased the power at will. 6 paths Madara in the original book gave up Shinra Tianzhong and Universal Pull. Instead of using unskilled celestial techniques, you will lose everything. The warm-up is over. In response to Uchiha Madara's cold gaze, Lan Yu relieved himself of Susanoo completely and spoke calmly, but the sound shook in all directions. But this sentence made fourth generation Chiyo and others stunned again. What? What did you say? It destroys the sky and the earth, you tell me this is a warm-up. For a moment, I don't know how many people wept sadly, and all their strengths can't even compare to the warm-up of the two. Uchiha Madara held her arms, equally proud. You have my approval, from now on, I Uchiha Madara will do my best. Really, but you have no chance. An extremely serious color appeared in Lan Yu's eyes, and a cross knife appeared in his hand, which instantly disappeared in place. He could feel that the vitality in Uchiha Madara's body from the ghetto statue was fading fast. Maybe Madara can try his best, but Lan Yu is not interested. This battle has been enough to announce the return of Uchiha Madara, and it is enough to shock the ninja realm. That's it, Uchiha Madara. Boom. Seeing Lan Yu appear next to him, Uchiha Madara, who was about to counterattack, gave her a body. The extremely surging Reiatsu instantly concentrated on him, pressing across him, a terrible pressure that he had never experienced before. It seems that gravity has suddenly increased dozens of times, and the body suddenly stops. Stronger than Uchiha Madara, its Reiatsu is also quite different from Lan Yu. Although it is difficult to kill directly with Reiatsu Town. But letting him pause for a moment is enough. At this moment, the battle is over. Puff chick chick. Lan Yu was holding a cross knife and brushed past Uchiha Madara. The flesh is torn and the bones are broken. An extremely hideous, terrible wound of the 5 internal organs can be seen on Uchiha Madara's body. The narrow and hideous knife mark went directly from Uchiha Madara's left shoulder to under his right crotch. Just a little bit. Just cut it off completely. Puff. Even so, when Madara's pain broke out, Lan Yu quickly turned around without stopping at all. The huge exterminating cross knife pierced into Ban's heart. Don't keep your hands. Never show mercy. Puff cough cough. Uchiha Madara vomited a big mouthful of blood, and his aura was extremely weak. Exterminating the cross knife, even without any spiritual power, can hurt the soul. Physically wounded, far less severe than the soul. The soul of Uchiha Madara was also almost cut off by this knife. The breath is weak to the lowest point. A touch of disbelief appeared in her eyes, causing Madara's thoughts to stagnate for an instant. Advertisement. It seemed to be back to the day when he and Hashirama fought the last time. When Hashirama's true several thousand hands suppressed him, Uchiha Madara realized that he was really not Hashirama's opponent. But that was Hashirama, his best friend, his lifelong enemy. Proudly he was defeated by a young man who was just emerging. Uchiha Madara had mixed feelings in his heart. Ha, ha ha, ha ha ha. As Lan Yu pulled out the knife, Uchiha Madara completely lost strength and lay slumped on the ground, her eyes dimmed, but she burst into laughter. Hashirama, did you see it? What a ridiculous battle. Even if it's you, it's a pity it's not you. Lan Yu's eyelids twitched slightly. Even at this time, I still miss Hashirama. Lan Yu said casually. Don't accept you. Uchiha Madara immediately raised her head proudly. Little devil, the strong never make excuses for their failures. Failure is defeat, I admit that you are better than me. Hey, Lan Yu responded like this. Uchiha Madara wanted to continue dancing because he saw the shadow of Hashirama in Lan Yu, and they all liked him so much. Shirang's Uncle Ban, who was dying, almost didn't take his breath away. This is over. Fourth generation who crawled out of the ruins, watched this scene in disbelief, still holding a little killer bee in his arms. Ninjas such as Chiyo and White Fang were also in a trance. Except for a handful of ninjas, the rest were killed and wounded in the aftermath. But the result is unbelievable, that is Shura of Ninja World. 0. Look for flowers. Okay, it's terrible. Terumi Mei and Kisame, who were brought out by Kushina from Link Sea Space, also watched this scene with a heartbeat. Lan Yu, worthy of the name of the devil. Your Majesty, it's too strong. Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Kakuzu looked at each other, and they were taken for granted in shock. Being a Quincy understands naturally. When Reiatsu is tyrannical to a certain extent, any bells and whistles are useless. Unless the soul of the other party is also extremely powerful and able to contend. Damn, what should I do? Seeing Black Zetsu here, his eyes were bloodshot. He waited thousands of years before he got to Uchiha Madara. Obviously hope was right in front of him, but it was suddenly cut off. Damn it. Black Zetsu fell to the ground fiercely, his eyes changed for a moment, and disappeared in the same place in a blink of an eye. Buzzing. Also at this moment, Uchiha Madara's hair began to turn white, his face began to grow old, and his vitality was quickly lost. 0. In a blink of an eye, he changed from 30 to 40 or 50, and then to 70 or 80 years old. The vitality absorbed from the ghetto statue collapsed. The look in Uchiha Madara's eyes was a little darker. He is not afraid of failure. He has been on the battlefield since he was 4 or 5 years old. It is not unacceptable to be defeated by Lan Yu. But he wanted to die calmly with a youthful attitude. It's also good to go to the Pure Land to meet Hashirama. But what he looks like now, can Hashirama still recognize him? Hashirama, here I am. Life quickly passed, Uchiha Madara closed her eyes. Seeing this, Lan Yu said flatly, go to death. It seems that you forgot the promise. Boy, are you humiliating me. Uchiha Madara opened her eyes kindly. Even if she was old, she couldn't hide the majestic aura. What about the agreement? With his posture, go to show Lan Yu the door. No, even if you look at the door, you can't help it. How can this make the proud Madara stand it? I originally studied Arankar, and I have prepared you a new way of life. Lan Yu retracted the cross knife and said calmly, I didn't think that you, whose soul was so severely wounded, would still have time to miss Senju Hashirama. Then, stay alive. The body is not dead yet. Arankar and Lan Yu are both troublesome. Dazuzi died physically, although he could regenerate and then change to a Quincy, but, so troublesome. If you let Uchiha Madara become a Quincy, let the soul of the big pillar directly become Arankar or Shinigami. Then it will be interracial friendship. It's so touching. P.S. How about the big pillar becoming Arankar? Or change to Shinigami, with Zanpakuto? You can also be troublesome to become a Quincy, or just resurrect as Six Paths Hashirama. The plot of Hashirama is not yet available, and it will be perfected at that time. Prepare to create an ability for the Dance King. If you have ideas, you can leave a message. Door. Chapter 76. I'm just a tool person. The whole world of ninja is shocked. Seeking support. Advertisement. What? Hearing Lan Yu's words, Uncle Ban sneered. Young man, I prevented the uncle from going to Hashirama, dream. Seeing that Uchiha Madara was dead, and even wanted to bite her tongue to commit suicide, Lan Yu spoke directly. Your plan is doomed to fail. Question mark question mark question mark. Uchiha Madara suddenly became energetic and stared sharply at Lan Yu. It's ridiculous. Do you know what wisdom is? The plan I made, is it you? Please Kun, listen to my ears. The throne emerged, and Lan Yu sat down and slowly said, Black Zetsu, considered the third brother of Sage of Six Paths, the product of the will of the ancestor of Chakra, has lived for thousands of years, waiting for the birth of Rinnegan, and lurking action. Confused class. White Zetsu, the result of infinite Tsukuyomi hit by humans in ancient times. Madara in amazement. Black Zetsu, tampered with the contents of the Uchiha steel, and led you away. Angry class. The cast of infinite Tsukuyomi will trigger the will of the ancestor of Chakra to be possessed, thereby resurrecting through the body. Shocked. 357. The meaning of Black Zetsu's existence is to resurrect the ancestor of Chakra, the mother of immortals, Otsutsuki Kagaya. The bitter Madara. Let's do this first. In summary, your plan was wrong from the beginning. The confused Madara. Uchiha Madara's expression kept changing, and he didn't doubt Lan Yu's words, but fell into deep resentment and confusion. Me, just a tool man. Otsutsuki Black Zetsu, you must die. Seeing that Uchiha Madara didn't yell or anything, Lan was also amazed. This kind of thing, who doesn't collapse? It's the uncle of the class, it's a little bit able to fight. It's been a few minutes, Lan Yu was surprised. Huh. Why are you still alive? Uchiha Madara. I think I can save it. Quickly, help uncle get up. Lan Yu. Get it for now. Black Zetsu, you can only be a tool man. Assist me, the tool to conquer the class. The battle is over. Fourth generation I, who was waiting for the gift, left the invisible empire without stopping. Although Lan Yu's intelligence is very important, Uchiha Madara's pressure on ninja is far more than Lan Yu, which has been accumulated over decades. At this moment, the real world is outside the city. Kakuzu counts all kinds of supplies, and is happy. But when the watermelon mountain puffer fish ghost was about to take away the Samahata with his big sword, Kakuzu was suddenly unhappy. Stop. Leave the knife. Puffer fish ghost couldn't help but stare. You. What am I? You have something to take away. Kakuzu is almost at the extreme. The blowfish ghost is even more awe-inspiring to kill, but that is his sword, it is his second life. It was clearly stated that weapons were not allowed into the city, but they were not given to the empire. Shout. Waste. Kakuzu hugged the masseter muscle, plausibly. This knife still makes a living, how can it sell for several million taels? Pufferfish ghost can't help but vomit blood. Shameless old thief. I go. The expression of the blowfish ghost changed, and finally left in embarrassment under Kakuzu's disdainful eyes. Although it is the second life, but where the first life is important, you dare to be arrogant in the real world city only after your brain is pumped, but the resentment towards Kakuzu reaches its peak. This is Hoshigaki Kisame, who was taken back to the city by Kushina. Looking at the big knife Samahata, his eyes were stunned. News of Madara's battle with Lan Yu went viral. Uchiha Madara reappears. Susao Junshi is completely body. The Demon King fights Shura. The Shinobi world shakes again. The impact this time is far more intense than Lan Yu's previous two impacts. Even the small country and small villages far away were shocked. The true sense of Quan Ninja was shocked by the whole people. What is Ninja Shura? That is the great horror that the whole ninja world recognizes. We must know that after Konoha was first built, in order to catch the tail beast, Uchiha Madara went rampant in the ninja world, pushing everything horizontally, and blasting all those who dissatisfied. The corpse mountain and the sea of blood are not enough to describe, and it has left a deep fear in the classics of countless countries. Uchiha Madara, the name of the taboo. But at the moment, the sealed memory was suddenly awakened, making everyone frightened. Advertisement. Cloud Shinobi Village. Ninja Shura. Huh. Third Raikage, who can fight 8 tails hand to hand, is also under great pressure at the moment. Looking at 4th generation I, who was in a panic before him, Lei comforted Ying and said, "You know, both the Ninja God and Ninja Shira can easily rewrite the map. Being able to survive the spectator on this scale has proven that you have grown a lot. I just didn't expect Lan Yu to be so strong. Fourth generation I." His face was bitter. He has worked hard for so many years, is he only worthy to survive from the aftermath? But once I think of the battle between Lan Yu and Madara, fourth generation I can't help but shake. He was only a teenager, and he had endured the horror that he shouldn't be at this age. Eight Tails Jinchuriki Bayubi solemnly said, "Master Raikage, it seems that we need to reassess Lan Yu's strength. It is very likely. It is very likely that the entire Cloud Shinobi village cannot be blocked." This sentence is not finished, and third Raikage is also clear. Ninja Asura and the others can't stop it, so what about the Demon King who defeated Ninja Asura? Are they using their heads to block? Thinking of this, third Raikage said solemnly, "Let's watch the changes first. I always believe that this level of power has unimaginable means and will not focus on small interests. Don't take the initiative to get close, and don't take the initiative to offend." With that, third Raikage stood up, his tall body full of pressure. If Lan Yu is really ambitious and wants to swallow everything, then I, Cloud Shinobi, will never be shy. Tsunade. Listening to the information Chiyo told, third Kazekage was very calm. This puzzled everyone, and Chiyo said urgently, "Master Feng, that's Uchiha Madara, he used to. Once what? Does it have anything to do with us? Isn't he already defeated? Please pay more attention to Lan Yu." Third generation Qian Feng asked calmly while drinking tea. In fact, he was panicked. "What can I do? I am also desperate." He knows himself very well. Not as strong as third Raikage, not as strong as third Tsuchikage's offensive power, and not as much as third Hokage ninjutsu. What can you do if you can't get up and down in the five shadows? Go to be a licking dog. Or offense. Or strengthen the defense. It's useless, it's better to pan for gold in the village honestly. After reading Feng Ying's thoughts, the elders couldn't help sighing. I don't want to think about it anymore, it will only make the already poor Tsunade worse. If you have no grudges, we just need to manage ourselves. Yes, Master Feng Ying. Kurigakure. Titicaca. Third Mizukage smashed something angrily, and it took a long time to calm down. The news brought by the blowfish ghost instantly smoothed out all the plans of third Mizukage, making him both angry and a little frightened. Fortunately, the mindless and inflated send troops to attack the invisible empire, otherwise it will be sent to death. Then third Mizukage looked at the grieving blowfish ghost. "You mean, the people of the invisible empire took your knife? That is not to take, that is to grab." The blowfish ghost's eyes were bloodshot, and he resented. The old immortal named Kakuzu is not a human at all. He still wants to sell my knife, damn it. Master Mizukage, send troops, I am willing to lead the team. Go down. Third Mizukage directly waved. 5.6. Master Mizukage. I said, go down. Exclamation mark quote. The face of the puffer fish changed, and he turned and left. The elders also looked at each other. Isn't the idea of the puffer fish ghost what they think? The tail beasts have been robbed, don't you want to lose face, but they dare not. They had already tried their best to imagine how strong Lan Yu was, but they didn't expect Lan Yu to defeat Uchiha Madara. Still, Uchiha Madara who owns Rinnegan. With Rinnegan, might he be more powerful than the ninja god? Can result. An elder said quietly. Just after the national investigation was completed, the other party did not snatch two tail beasts, but also snatched two ninja geniuses. Lan Yu was digging the roots of my missed shinobi. Hearing that, third Mizukage couldn't help squeezing his hands, his eyes full of sullenness. Lan Yu's ambition is too big, he just wants to snatch the tail beast to dig out the genius, so invisible to make the empire stronger. He is the enemy of the world of ninja and must be punished. Send me a message to other shinobu villages, I want to hold a Five Shadows conference. Yes, the figure of Lord Shui. Chapter 77. Your Majesty, is there any help for this disease? Seeking support. Advertisement. Konoha Village. In the office, everyone was shocked again and again. Uchiha Fugaku, who attended the meeting as a patriarch, was shocked first, and then a huge surprise. Is the ancestor born? Does Uchiha have a backing? Madara. Aha, Uchiha Fugaku is not very clear about the ball's past. You know, before Madara leaves Konoha, she intends to take Uchiha away. But Uchiha was used to Konoha's stability, and he didn't want to leave. He was born and died for Uchiha, and his family was destroyed, but in the end even his own people rejected him a bit. Habits stable. Don't my class have the ability to create another big shinobu village for you to play? Uchiha broke Madara's heart. Looking at the information, Sarutobi gave a bitter expression and asked, what happened to Uchiha Madara? Yuri Junhong thought for a while, and said with uncertainty, the last confrontation was too strong. Uchiha Madara, who can only be seen from a distance, was chopped by Lan Yu, and then fell down. I don't know what we talked with, they disappeared directly. Mitokado Homura of the F3-day group muttered, the ninja world cannot tolerate two kings, Uchiha Madara is likely to die. Everyone could not help their foreheads. I don't want Shira like Uchiha Madara to be alive and can't sleep even if I change to them. Lan Yu, how can your equipment compare with me? So to say. Sarutobi Hiruzen has gray hair and thought, then you don't need to think about Uchiha Madara. This battle just proved that Lan Yu is really hard to beat. But no one is absolutely invincible. Lan Yu's intelligence should be the first priority. With that said, Sarutobi was a little confused on the 07. Where is Hatake Sakumo? Yuri Junhong shook his head and said, it's gone after the war. Sarutobi sank inwardly. Was it taken by Lan Yu? Or was it killed? Ah, roots, drove everyone out, Danzo roared hysterically, venting his resentment. A sudden battle destroyed Danzo's last hope. Impure world reincarnation. Even real people are defeated. What's the use of that kind of half-puppet that can only display part of its strength? The soil rebirth research these days is not enough to kill the king and produce heavyweights. Most of them are cannon fodder and need too much time to perfect. Can be hidden. The biggest fear is that there is not enough time. Lan Yu is getting stronger day by day, and it makes him fear every day. Danzo's will is really going to collapse. Saddle Jun. Suddenly, there was a sound, and Danzo looked at him sullenly. Who is it? Get out of me. I saw a pool of dark objects appearing on the ground, which flowed in a blink of an eye to form a black shadow, and smiled and showed jagged teeth. Jia, do you need help? Don't rush to refuse. The container of ordinary people is simply not enough to hold the soul of the strong, let alone exert their strength. Dozens of pale bodies were thrown on the ground. Look, I brought you the perfect container. More than that, I also brought a cell older than Senju Hashirama. Glancing at the black shadow, Danzo said coldly, tell me your origin and purpose, I won't kill you. Ah, kill me. The visitor was amused by these words, and the black shadow disappeared in place. In the next moment, he appeared on Danzo like a shadow. Damn it, get out of me. Danzo kept pulling something angrily, but couldn't find it anyhow, and it was useless to break out chakra. The shadow was still merging into his body, sneered. Jia, a good container, blend in with me. Yin-yang escaped spiritual possession. Ah, Danzo screamed in pain. He felt that his body and soul had been split in half, as if he had grown a new person on his body. For a time, the two consciousnesses are constantly intertwined. Confront each other. Come again. Embarrassed. And in the top hall of the center building of True World City. Lan Yu sat on the throne, overlooking a lowly, and a soul body. Your Majesty, 3 tails and 6 tails have been captured, please give instructions. Makoto released a tail beast and a Jinchuriki, and Kushina tilted his head up, as if coming to praise me. Lan Yu didn't see it at all, making Kushina mutter something. Your Majesty, 7 tails has been captured, please give instructions. Nagato and Yahiko also returned, and they said respectfully. Seeing this, Terumi Mei Loli and Hoshigaki Kisame couldn't help being shocked. They wanted to catch all the tail beasts. Isn't this driving the major countries crazy? You did a good job. Lan Yu praised it, he just looked at the result. Only 1 tail and 2 tail 8 tails are left. Advertisement. These 2 people. Lan Yu put Jinchuriki and the tail beast away and looked at Loli Shang and Soul. The soul is easy to recognize, and the shark's face is no one else, and the recognition is very high. As for this Loli, it looks pretty cute. Kushina brought Loli over and said with a chuckle, Your Majesty, this girl is called Terumi Mei, and the boy is called Kisame. At a young age, he dared to do something with me, and committed suicide directly in order not to disclose information. He was very talented and courageous. Terumi Mei, the future Oni-san Mizukage. Lan Yu looked over, and suddenly made this Loli tremble. It's terrible, terrible. Terumi Mei wanted to cry, but didn't dare. If you don't know Lan Yu, Terumi Mei might say, wow, this man is so temperamental, my dish. But unfortunately, after watching Lan Yu's battle, his mind is full of horror pictures of Lan Yu smashing the sky and the earth. Are people so strong? The devil is terrible. Will you join the empire? I don't force it. Lan Yu spoke quite calmly, which immediately shocked the hearts of the 2 of them. Don't force it. Who can believe it? Without hesitation, Hoshigaki Kisame knelt on the ground very simply, and said in a respectful voice. I have already died for Miss Shinobi once, and I am willing to serve His Majesty a lot. The strong, the real strong. Mizukage worships the strong than Cloud Shinobi. Mizukage is based on strength. And Lan Yu's strength directly conquered Hoshigaki Kisami's careful liver. I do. Terumi Mei's face turned pale, and her small body knelt down. She knew that someone like Lan Yu would not talk nonsense to her. She was not afraid of death, but when she thought that Kisami's soul might still be kneeling, she was suddenly shuddered. The kingdom that controls the soul is the devil to her. Nice windfall. For the 2, Lan Yu is still very optimistic. Being able to become a cage-level powerhouse on the original trajectory itself represents extraordinary potential. Although Hoshigaki Kisame is somewhat impulsive and belligerent, compared to his strengths and weaknesses, he can be omitted. Might Guy. He lived like a real ninja and died like a real ninja. Hoshigaki Kisame, I will remember your name forever. Terumi Mei, awesome. Having experienced the cruelty of the Blood Fog era, I have been working hard for the development of the village. It wasn't until the eve of the 4th Ninja World War that she became the 2nd female shadow in the history of the ninja world. It doesn't hurt to be a shadow. Lan Yu is not stingy with a drop of blood. As for the ghost, if only the soul is downloaded, then it will be changed to Arankar. Makoto, go get a glass of sake. Yes, Your Majesty. Makoto nodded back with a gentle smile. Seeing this, Kushina squeezed Terumi Mei's small face and chuckled lightly. Very well, you will be my little brother from now on. No, little sister. Sister Kushina, come and listen. School bully, Tsurumi is unable to complain. Miss, sooner or later, you will rub 437 on the ground. But Tsurumi still has a cute expression. Sister Kushina, please take care of me. Hehe, really good. The other side, on the street of True World City. The more prosperous, the voice is full of people. An old man was sitting in a wheelchair, and White Zetsu pushed the old man slowly down the street. The old man was very uncomfortable with the lively and harmonious atmosphere around him. He closed his eyes and didn't know what he was thinking, and White Zetsu didn't dare to disturb him easily. Suddenly, a cute little girl came over with a flower and stopped in front of the old man who looked critically ill. The old man raised his eyes slightly and frowned. The little girl's voice is very crisp. Grandpa, this flower is for you, I wish you a speedy recovery, and the younger you live. White Zetsu was taken aback. Hey, what are you doing? Who asked you to come? The little girl tilted her head and was very puzzled. I came by myself. Your Majesty said that we are all citizens of the Empire. We must help each other, unite and love each other. Am I doing something wrong? White Zetsu was speechless, and immediately looked at the old man. I saw the old man's eyes in a trance, as if lost in some kind of memory. Lan Yu, you won. Not knowing what he thought of, the old man murmured. Under White Zetsu's stunned gaze, the old man even smiled, and gently took the flower, and said kindly. I wish you happiness every day. Wow, Grandpa, you are so jealous when you laugh. Haha, when I was young, I was not only cool, but also handsome. Slightly, not ashamed. The little girl's eyes smiled into crescent moons. The cool old man also smiles warmly. White Zetsu. Oh my god, hell. Your Majesty, come and see. Is there any cure for Mr. Ban's illness? White Zetsu glanced at the old man talking about Dao again, and immediately raised his forehead. Forget it, give up treatment. Chapter 78. Reality is hell, Nagato is here to thank you. Seeking support. Advertisement. Chatting with the little girl for a while. After being pushed by White Zetsu to a high platform in a wheelchair, the old man's previously happy mood was lonely again. Here, he could overlook most of the scenery of True World City, but he didn't want to see it. I also saw Kushina and others bring back the tail beast before. The sitting old man just stared slightly, but said nothing. And White Zetsu on the side yelled, Master Ban, I just saw it. Our previous plan didn't work at all. Your Majesty has killed several tail beasts, and they are almost finished. Moreover, it's the kind that can't be reborn. Uchiha was speechless. Madara, he didn't care about the life and death of the tail beast at the moment. The only motivation to live at the moment is to kill Otsutsuki Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu is immortal, even if he is dead, he can't wash away his shame. After being brought back by Lan Yu, the wound on his body was repaired by Lan Yu using the visionary ability. But Ban's body is inherently decayed, and he usually lives on the ghetto statue. Looking at the heavy heart, Lan Yu didn't rush to reform him. Especially after Lan Yu told him all the truth, Uchiha Madara's mentality almost collapsed, and it hasn't completely calmed down until now. Black Zetsu. When I think of this name, my eyes are extremely cold. Are you Uchiha Madara? A slightly nervous and curious voice sounded, and Ban looked back slightly and paused. Nagato. It really grew a lot. The two of them were speechless. White Zetsu's eyes turned around, not knowing what he was thinking, but he kept smiling. Yahiko, who came together, said in doubt, why did you give your eyes to Nagato? Doesn't it hurt? What? Uchiha Madara was too lazy to explain. This child is so well protected by Lan Yu. So innocent. Although I don't know what you are going to do before, but, thank you. To Madara's surprise, Nagato thanked him sincerely. White Zetsu couldn't help but stunned. Hey, you are the wrong person, Madara-sama. As he said, White Zetsu stopped and coughed lightly. Ahem, it's okay. Perhaps it was a memory. Nagato's eyes were sad. A few months ago, Konoha in Rain Shinobi Village broke out and 2 Konoha Shinobi broke into my house. I saw my parents lying in a pool of blood, and the 2 ninjas apologized to the corpse, saying that they had read it wrong, and they thought it was the enemy before killing them. Such a reason, how ridiculous. Nagato's tone could not help being mixed with anger. The anger made me explode with incomprehensible power, and I killed them directly. The death of my parents made me very painful. What makes me sad and confused is that I didn't know until Conan took me away. In those few months, there were too many children like me and no family. My business is just a microcosm of war. Yeah, the epitome of war. Yahiko was also silent, and his parents also died because of the war. Dealing with Ghost Zhao and Tsurumi, Lan Yu heard the conversation here. Thanks, Madara. For now, Lan Yu doesn't feel that there is anything wrong. After all, the plan hadn't started yet, it was Rinnegan from the class who helped him avenge him. Some people say that Nagato's parents killed Madara in order to open his eyes. Lan Yu was speechless, rumored to be false. Rinnegan's power is not something a child can bear. And even the heir who led Nagato was not found. What's the use of opening your eyes? At that time, Nagato didn't even practice chakra, it was pure Madara's residual pupil power burst. Otherwise, with such a small body, the outburst of anger can directly consume him into a mummy. The death of Nagato's parents. It just expresses the cruelty of war. Uchiha Madara was silent for a long time and said faintly, not everything in this world can be as you wish. The longer you live, the clearer you can see, the reality is actually helplessness, pain and emptiness. Listen well, in this world, where there is light, there must be shadows. Looking at the distant sky, Ban seemed to see Hashirama's handsome figure from the clouds, and continued to speak slowly. If you want to maintain peace with your own selfishness, you will inevitably lead to war, and in order to protect love, you will breed hatred. Cause and effect here cannot be cut off, the reality is like this. The real world is hell. Uchiha Madara was deeply impressed by the long-term elderly life in the cave. There is only a victor, there is only a world of peace, and only a world of love. I just want to recreate a world like this. Can result. Uchiha Madara couldn't help being lost. Advertisement. After realizing that he is a tool man, Ben began to reflect. If Black Zetsu and Infinite Tsukuyomi are fine, is the result really what you want? How false it is for everyone to enter illusion. His way is crooked. Grandpa, shut up, my Uchiha Madara is not decayed. Hearing Yahiko's words, Grandpa, Uchiha Madara's eyes sharpened. The little girl before is nothing more, just an ordinary girl, but Yahiko and others can't. It is probably a pity for many strong people to refuse to accept the old but can only accept it. It was the old man. Yahiko couldn't help but murmured, and suddenly Madara's Rinnegan turned around and wanted to beat Yahiko. Nothing more. Big people don't really play with children. You are here to talk nonsense. Uchiha Madara snorted and continued to miss the big pillar. Nagato took out a luminous bead and handed it over. This body must be uncomfortable. This is what your majesty asked me to bring. Eating it will restore you to your peak and gain new strength. Looking at the crystal clear beads, there was still a drop of blood inside, but Uchiha Madara did not pick it up. Yahiko wondered. Don't you want to return to the top? And, the new power can make you immortal. If you have a dream, everything can be achieved with a long life. By the way, your majesty also asked me to tell you. For those who are empowered by your majesty, their lives are in the hands of your majesty. This is the price of power. That guy, so frank. Uchiha Madara couldn't say what his mood was, it was too complicated. He, Uchiha Madara, now needs a child to save him. Hashirama knows he can't laugh. But when he thinks that Black Zetsu is still alive, he feels aggrieved. Seeing that Madara still didn't respond, Nagato also said, Your Majesty also said, if you still don't accept it, then tell you. I saw that Nagato stood up straight, learned Lan Yu's posture, and spoke indifferently. Dignified ninja Shira is so perfidious and unworthy to be as famous as the ninja god. Ha! Exciting general method. You succeeded. Uchiha Madara's pupil power suddenly bloomed, and the invisible aura directly made everyone take a few steps back. Indifferently took the beads and swallowed them. Guru. Swallow it in one bite, and the change begins. Uchiha Madara didn't frown, and his face was expressionless. This can make Yahiko, Nagato and White Zetsu all stare at it, the pain of tearing the soul, so easy. As expected of Ninja Asura, Lan Yu admired a lot, with great perseverance. That bead. It was Lan Yu who condensed more than 100 times the total consumption of spirits that can be used to create 3,000 saints. Linxi's gasification liquid water. Then, a large amount of spiritual water is compressed and condensed into the spiritual beads, and dripped into the blood. The concentration of Lingxi is more than the sum absorbed by Kushina and others, which is comparable to Super Cage level. It's not that Lan Yu is partial. Before the three of Orochimaru, they were called quasi-cage at best, otherwise they wouldn't be able to beat even a Hanzo. And Kushina and Makoto, Lee's ninja level, the three little ones are pure little white. The group of 8 cannot control such a majestic power at all, and can only take it slowly. But Uchiha Madara can easily control it. Wow, Master Ban has become handsome. Seeing Madara's change, White Zetsu exclaimed. Uncle Ben was immediately full of dissatisfaction. He has always been handsome, okay. I saw the decaying class, the gray hair turned black, the old face became younger and younger, the momentum rose straight, the vitality was exploding. This building is unbearably cracked. Yahiko was stunned. So strong Reiatsu. And spiritual power. Nagato nodded. According to the level of the ninja, just the spiritual power is beyond cage level. After a while, it looks like Uchiha Madara, who is around 30, is online again. The whole body exudes the aura of being out of everything, which makes people afraid to look directly. The wheelchair was directly shattered by Reiatsu. Uchiha Madara got up without sorrow or joy, and raised his hand to the sky. Shen Luo Tianzhong. Chapter 79. Indra Chakra, Peep of Sage of Six Paths. Seeking support. Advertisement. Boom. Shenluo Tianzhong suddenly appeared, and the terrible repulsion broke out in an instant. Under the stunned countless people of the Invisible Empire, large tracts of sky clouds were destroyed, forming huge Uzumaki-like holes. White Zetsu suddenly shouted, Master Madara is amazing. To shut up. After raising his hand, Uchiha Madara felt the new power in his body, even if it was him, he couldn't help but be in a daze. Chakra was washed away, replaced with spiritual power, and after strengthening the soul, I felt Reiatsu. Rinnegan, as the blood successor boundary, was completely preserved. At the same time, there are many quintessence skills printed on the soul, and they also have powerful abilities called holy characters. At this moment, Uchiha Madara understood why Nagato and other children grew up so fast. It turned out that someone opened the hook, all of which were forced. Has the holy characters awakened themselves? From afar, Lan Yu felt the power of the holy characters from the class. This ability was not given by Lan Yu actively. It is just that the key to open the holy text is attached to the spirit orb, and after Madara's transformation, he awakens himself. But whether it is given by Lan Yu or not, any ability of the Quincy can be given to Lan Yu Master. Sunny. The name of the sacred writing ability of Lan Yu's light language class. Regardless of his ability, at least the name suits him well. This, hot feeling. With a young and full of vitality, Uchiha Madara is satisfied. But what made him unaccustomed was that even if he was given such a powerful force, Lan Yu just sent two younger brothers over, more arrogant than him. 560 However, Madara didn't care too much. The world is cruel, only the strong have the right to speak. Admit that Lan Yu is better than him. It's not such an unacceptable thing. But immediately, Uchiha Madara's eyes showed fierce killing intent, making the three of white Zetsu feel cold. Otsutsuki, black Zetsu. Soon, Ban calmed up. That guy, it's not worth his gaff. Zetsu. Suddenly, white smoke came out of Uchiha Madara, which was very strange. In this scene, not only Nagato and others were shocked. Uchiha Madara can't help but frown. Is it a problem? No, this is. Perceiving the energy of the white smoke carefully, Uchiha Madara feels an inexplicable sense of familiarity. Yin and Yang escape. No, this, even the Yin attribute chakra that I can hardly reach. Yahiko also exclaimed. So dark spiritual energy. Zetsu. Soon, the white smoke dissipated completely. I don't know if it is an illusion, everyone was in a daze and heard a voice of unwillingness. Extremely old, as if from ancient times. The body is different. Perceiving herself again, Uchiha Madara found herself relaxed, unprecedentedly relaxed. As if breaking away from some kind of shackles. Let him be baptized with all his heart. White Zetsu sighed. Ah, I thought Master Ban could not bear such a strong spiritual power to be cooked, what a pity. Uchiha Madara didn't bother to talk to the fellow White Zetsu. Perceiving everything about herself carefully, Uchiha Madara thought of something, her face darkened slightly. Could it be what Lan Yu said? Indra Chakra. Did you peeping just now? Otsutsuki Hagoromo. In the hall, Lan Yu sat on the throne and whispered. He was pretty sure, at the moment Indra Chakra was washed away by spiritual power. There was an extremely cryptic wave sweeping back and forth across the true world city, and the concentration of the other party's soul was extremely high. Far beyond the scope of ninja spirits. It can be said that judging from Reiatsu alone, it is comparable or even vaguely beyond Lan Yu's current state. Is it so good in the Pure Land? This made Lan Yu a little surprised and pleasantly surprised. According to the original text, Sage of Six Paths will only appear in the set way when the chakras of Ten Tails, Indra, and Ashura appear together. But again, this statement comes from Sage of Six Paths, who knows how much is hidden. But Lan Yu can be sure that Sage of Six Paths cannot always observe and enter and exit the ninja world at any time. Otherwise, Lan found Yuer was discovered, and Black Zetsu would also kneel early. Perhaps more than the three chakra appear at the same time to show up. Advertisement. According to the situation just now, Lan Yu couldn't help but guess, it is very possible that a problem with any of these chakras will cause him to look at him. For example, just now, the destruction of Indra Chakra. For another example, the tail beast that is about to be wiped out. In this way, Lan Yu has expectations. Now that he hasn't shown up, what about devouring all the tail beasts and the ghetto statue? Looking forward to your appearance, Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Friendly. Then please kneel down. Enemy. Then give your soul to the birth of the king. Brush. Uchiha Makoto arrived in an instant, glanced at Madara calmly, and whispered. Senior, your majesty AHFG asks you to go over, there is a task. Task. Uchiha Madara's brows twitched slightly. I haven't heard this word for many years. After turning around, Ban looked at Uchiha Makoto. For this younger Uchiha Madara can only say one thing, very lucky. If you don't meet Lan Yu, you can only be a mediocre husband and child until you die of old age or sickness. Or B, filial piety, to death. But now, immortality, bright life, infinite future. Uchiha Madara is very touching. Only when you are old can you know how terrible the years are. At this point, the Quincy and Lan Yu said that the Otsutsuki clan is similar, and they are terrible races with a long lifespan. Inside the hall, Arankar, Kakuzu, Hoshigaki Kisame, Quincy, Madara, Gong Shinai, Makoto, Nagato, Yahiko, White Zetsu, Terumi Mei, Hatake Sakumo. Orochimaru is studying at the Scientific Research Institute, and Jiraiya is training holy soldiers. Konan and Tsunade went to capture one tail. With such a calculation, Lan Yu feels that all the talents in the ninja world have entered my bombing. In this era, it's only a few geniuses before it won. I don't know what mission your majesty has. Growing up, Hoshigaki Kisame had the style of the original track Akatsuki member, holding a big knife and grinning. And Terumi Mei, who grew up, had big bright eyes rolling around, taking a peek at Lan Yu from time to time. Similarly, for Gui Zhao and Terumi Mei, the two-day experience is like a dream. From being caught, watching the battle to transforming, especially the power that is very different from chakra, it is like a dream. Your Majesty, is it a god? Terumi Mei and Gui Zhao glanced at Lan Yu and couldn't help but be in a daze. A drop of blood creates extraordinary power, which is too incredible. Get 2 more fans, brothers and sisters. Alas, Lan Yu couldn't help sighing when he noticed the trance and admiration of the two eyes. Really, When a person is too attractive, there is no sense of accomplishment. Lan Yu. Beauty, appointment. Beauty. What's the room number? You see, there is really no sense of accomplishment. Lan Yu. You can't imagine my happiness. Such Reiatsu. After understanding Reiatsu, and seeing Lan Yu again, Uchiha Madara realized that he was not unjustly defeated before. That kind of vast Reiatsu, a big gap. Although ninja's chakra has the spiritual energy for training and accumulating experience, the strength of the soul is really far inferior to the Quincy who majored in soul. Seeing that everyone was there, Lan Yu said directly, the mission target, Konoha and Kurigakure. Konoha and Miss Shinobi, Mo Shin Terumi Mei and Kisame were stunned. It really is an invisible empire, directly just two big ninja villages. Kakuzu's eyes suddenly brightened. Your Majesty, let me go to Konoha. Konoha has a reward of 3 billion taels. Speaking of this, Kakuzu is full of emotion. Too much money is not good for them. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. You deserve it, Minister of Finance. Uchiha Madara said flatly, destroying 2 villages. I am enough. Although it is mainly because of agreement to join. But he didn't want to get such a powerful force with peace of mind, so he used the task as a reward. For Madara, Konoha has nothing to miss after Hashirama's death. Uchiha, what is that? The task this time is to get your family back. Chapter 80. Team Robbery Mission, Tsunade teases Conan. Seeking support. Advertisement. Lan Yu looked at his subordinates. The main task this time is to pick up your nostalgic family and friends. In order to avoid accidents in future wars or certain conspiracies, it will only increase grief. Wow, this majesty is really wow. Makoto and Kushina's eyes shimmered slightly, and Terumi Mei was a little lost. Such a person in power. Loved love. Lan Yu looked at Uchiha Madara, the proud man. Uchiha Madara looked up at each other, very calm. Lan Yu said with deep meaning, I saw it. The person you want to meet is in Konoha. If you want to go, go, but. Very good. There was a cold light in Uchiha Madara's eyes. Black Zetsu, you can't run away. Brush. Madara disappeared in place and rushed towards Konoha. Seeing Ban leave, Lan Yu's expression is a little weird. I am so impatient that you are really rare to see you. I hope you won't be angry. Uchiha Madara, who had just rushed out of the building, had a footstep. No, Lan Yu's expression seemed wrong just now. Is there anything else to say? No matter. Let's go to Konoha first. Inside the hall. Lan Yu murmured, I hope I don't get mad, and I'm not just talking about Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu, a tool man, is only enough for Uchiha Madara to ignite the motivation to survive. But you can't hang Madara with Black Zetsu all the time, it will make Madara's heart more and more depressed. So it's best to let Madara quickly resolve grievances and get well thought out. It's a pity that Madara went too eagerly and didn't listen to Lan Yu's follow-up words, this time it may not be able to solve it. Then, the second tool man is online. Lan Yu believed that when the second tool man appeared, it was the moment when Uchiha Madara returned to his heart. Because in my heart, nothing can be more important than that man. Those who go to Konoha remember to bring back Tsunade's family, assign tasks by themselves, and return as soon as possible. Lan Yu disappeared in place and went back to absorb the tail beast. In an instant, the hall became lively. Little brother, take a trip with the uncle, Miss Shinobi. Kakuzu enthusiastically stopped Hoshigaki Kisami's shoulders. After all, they are both Arrancar and are still very close. The Ministry of Finance has just stabilized, he originally wanted to go to Konoha. Seeing that Madara is so active, let's go to Miss Shinobi to play the autumn breeze. Hoshigaki Kisami's eyelids twitched. Don't forget the little brother, what does it mean to call the uncle at every turn? Okay, it just so happens that I have some grievances to resolve. Hoshigaki Kisame showed a bloodthirsty expression, holding a bandage-wrapped knife in his hand. It is the sour muscle that Kakuzu snatched from the blowfish ghost, which can absorb the soul power of the enemy after transformation. White Zetsu rushed over and said, don't be so bloodthirsty at a young age. You will have no friends. By the way, I'm going to Miss Shinobi to investigate information. My name is White Zetsu, and I yell Uncle White to listen. Hoshigaki Kisame. Do people here like to take advantage so much, but Gui Zhao really can't refute it. Who made him really young? Gui Zhao could only bite the bullet and said, Uncle bye. What? I can't hear you. Uncle bye. Oh, it turned out to be stammering and useless. Uncle bye. It's okay. Haha. Bayer is cool. Hoshigaki Kisame took a deep breath, wishing to slap White Zetsu's undue beating face. Such a cheap guy, is it certain that he will not be killed by investigating intelligence? Kushina, Nagato and others were obviously going to Konoha, and Terumi Mei looked at these three guys and couldn't help having a headache. One wants money without life, one is cheap, and one just gains strength. Relying on the four of them to read Kurigakure to grab people, is it really reliable? Uncle Kakuzu, I'll go with you too. 21. Yahiko considers the issue of balance of combat power. He also thinks that these four people are unreliable in entering Miss Shinobi, and they are also very interested in Miss Shinobi. After all, there is too little information there. Very well, Uncle, I will take you to make a fortune, he he he. Watching Kakuzu's thief smile, everyone has a black line. The other side, Hatake Sakumo looked at the paused Kushina and Makoto, and said. Don't think too much. Your Majesty is right. If you don't bring your family back, there is a possibility of accidents. For Konoha's senior management, Hatake has no hope. He didn't return to Konoha this time, who knows what trouble it will cause. The two women nodded. Well, let's go. Nagato followed closely, with complicated eyes. Advertisement. Your Majesty once said that there is gratitude for gratitude, and there is revenge for revenge, only to have the understanding of thoughts. Konoha, feel the pain. How many floors a bag of rice has to hit? At the same time, the country of wind. The wind and sand are everywhere, and the eyes are desolate. The two white figures moved quickly, only a few hundred meters away from Tsunade. Because of the sudden Madara Yu battle, the two women stayed in the Empire for more than a day before setting off. Boring all the way. Thinking of what? Tsunade joked. Conan, that night, I was very courageous. What is it? In an instant, Conan, who seemed cold, blushed and his speed slowed down. What's the situation? Does everyone know it? Tsunade's smile was full of quizzes. Look at this pretty face that looks like the setting sun, let alone your majesty, I can't stand it if it's replaced by me. I didn't come out one night and one morning, can you bear it? That's not it. Conan couldn't stand Tsunade's gaze, and he immediately retorted. How many women in the ninja world get married when they are teenagers? If you change your age to an ordinary person, your children will be soy sauce. Hurry up and find a man to marry, big milk, cow. Tsunade was stunned and stopped for a moment. Conan, who seems cold but gentle, speaks so harshly now. No, what did she say? Tsunade was full of black lines, and suddenly clenched his fists, staring at Conan. Little girl, are you saying that I am old? I'm only in my early 20s. Zero, look for flowers, it's bigger than me anyway. Conan murmured weakly and changed the subject suddenly. Tsunade has found us, prepare to meet the enemy. Welcome to any enemy, watch me blast them to death. The angrily Tsunade was very difficult to provoke, and I saw Sand Shinobi jumping live in the distance, suddenly burst of strong spiritual power, and wind and waves formed around it. Weird power punch. Holy text, power, burst. A fierce air cannon was slammed out by Tsunade, and it struck Tsunade fiercely, tearing a huge gully all the way. Ah, what is that? Sand Shinobi, who was patrolling the tower outside Tsunade, suddenly saw a strong storm coming. Not waiting for them to reflect, with a bang, the tower where Sand Shinobi was located burst apart. Sand Shinobi was all shaken out, and the huge roar shocked the whole Tsunade. What sound? The aftermath of the storm formed by the breaking of the high wall, blowing a lot of wind and sand through the window towards the Fang office, immediately aroused 3rd Casecage's high alertness. Zero, the Fang building is the tallest. When 3rd Casecage saw the collapse of the building outside, his face changed drastically. Is this an earthquake? Master Fang, it's not good, there are 2 invisible empires invading. Following a report from a Jonin, 3rd Casecage disappeared instantly. The alarm was sounded and everyone was awakened, outside Tsunade. Sister Tsunade, your strength is getting stronger and stronger. Looking at the gully spreading for thousands of meters, Conan couldn't help but his eyelids twitched slightly. Fortunately, I changed the subject, otherwise Tsunade bounced his forehead, wouldn't it be serious? What's this? I broke a mountain yesterday. Tsunade was quite satisfied with her fist. Although she used to have good strength, she was far worse than she is now. Holy text. Power not only gives her terrible power. It is constantly strengthening her physique, making her physique geometrically multiplied, and it will only get stronger and stronger in the future. Hearing that, Conan whispered. If this continues, it will be more difficult to marry out. Tsunade stared. What did you say? Huh, what is this? It happened that a bird holding a paper flew over and caught the eyes of the 2 women. The bird dissipated when it approached the 2 girls, leaving only a piece of paper. The bird made by Lingza, send the letter. Conan picked up the paper and looked at it, his eyelids twitched slightly. On January 3rd, the first year of the Invisible Empire, Tsunade came to congratulate him with a gift of 10 million taels, less than 100 million taels, and a loan of 90 million taels from the Empire. Empire IOU, doubled every day, debts must be paid. Invisible, Deputy Minister of Finance of the Empire, Kakuzu. Conan and Tsunade looked at each other. Minister Kakuzu really did his duty. The police saw many figures rushing over, and Tsunade took the IOU and said, Conan, go and arrest 1 tael, these people are handed over to me. Okay Tsunade's sister, please be careful of the door. Chapter 81. Red-haired boy, my name is Sasori, please let me join, please support. Advertisement. As Conan disappeared in place, Tsunade walked towards Tsunade very calmly. Swipe it. 3rd Casecage was the first to fall, and the elites such as Chio and Ebizo followed closely, looking at Tsunade as if they were facing an enemy. Everyone didn't do it the first time, it was a bit hard for the other side's backing. Is Lan Yu going to be an enemy of Tsunade? 3rd Casecage dignifiedly looked at Tsunade wearing a Quincy suit, gritted his teeth and pointed out his identity. Ra Konoha Elite Jonin, a member of the Holy Legion of the Invisible Empire, Tsunade. Something's wrong, wasn't it 2 people just now? Someone else. Thinking of this, 3rd Casecage gave Ebizo a wink and went back to the village to take a look. Tsunade curled his lips and said, you should pay the money you owe. What money? 3rd Casecage frowned. Byran saw Chio's awkward expression and suddenly asked. What happened? Chio couldn't help but feel embarrassed and didn't know what to say. Tsunade chuckled slightly and said, you didn't bring enough gifts, so I typed a 653 IOU totaling 180 million taels. Let's hand it over. What nonsense are you talking about? It's clearly 90 million taels. Chiyo felt that his IQ was insulted. How did the Invisible Empire settle the accounts? Third Kage's face turned black, and then he said in a deep voice. Even if I owe money to San Shinobi, it is a bit too much to destroy the outer defense line if you disagree. Tsunade ignored him and said casually, our country's deputy finance minister, Mr. Zhao, has said that every additional day, the arrears doubles. Of course, I destroyed your building, so it's 50 million taels. A total of 130 million taels of the empire needs to be paid back. Is there such a calculation? Many San Shinobi flushed with anger, and Third Kage wanted to scold his mother, clenched his fists and said, what do you mean is that if Sunagakure is destroyed, not only does it not lose money, but it also requires us to post money back? Tsunade thought about it seriously, then nodded. Yes, really smart. Good, very good. Third Kage's face sank, a large piece of sand and iron appeared beside him, signaled San Shinobi to stay away, and said in a cold voice. Money, I will give it to you. Let's talk about friendship. If you accidentally hurt you, I'm sure you won't be angry with Lan Yu's measure. This is Sunagakure. As long as you dare to read Third Kage, it will definitely cause countless gossips. Therefore, while Third Kage gave the Invisible Empire a lot of face, he must teach Tsunade a lesson and collect combat intelligence by the way. Tsunade raised his brow slightly and clenched his fist. Your Majesty's equipment is not what you can imagine, it just so happens that I am bored, come to play with you. Weird punch. Magnet-style sand iron when it rains. Tsunade and Third Kage shot at the same time, and the San Shinobi suddenly retreated wildly. I saw that Tsunade was simply a punch, setting off a grand and incomparable storm, and the terrifying power displayed made Third Kage's pupils shrink. The whole body of Third Kage summoned sand and iron like waves out of thin air in an instant. After that, the sand iron formed countless fine needles and shot out to Tsunade at an extremely fast speed. Boom. Really fighting? In order to avoid trouble and save time, Conan constantly shuttled in Sunagakure with the help of the Realm of Shadows. As soon as he walked out, he heard a huge roar. But Conan is not worried about Tsunade. The Shadow Realm is the same as the hollow of a certain second product, making it impossible for most enemies to start. Conan looked around, a little surprised. One-tailed Jinchuriki, how can you live in such a place? She just came looking for Ryotsu, who was like a tailed beast, and when she came out, she saw the incomparable desolation around it like a prison in a desert. There is no ninja guardian at all. It is already the outermost periphery of Sunagakure, and the building is similar to a temple. Suddenly, there was a slight rubbing sound, and Conan didn't notice the slight movement of his brows. Just as Conan was about to enter, a very tender voice sounded. Military cap and white cloak, you are, from the Invisible Empire? Conan ignored it, she found out early, advertisement. It's just a child, but Ryotsu is much better than ordinary adults. It should be a genius genin, chunin or something. Seeing Conan raised his hand and smashed the door of the temple, the little boy couldn't help being surprised. This is the rumor that it can release energy that is different from Chakra's attack without the seal. Although surprised, the little boy kindly reminded, this sister, I advise you not to go in. Grandma said that there is a monster there. It has been sealed for decades, except for monthly patrols, few people come here during the rest of the time. Conan turned around, his expression indifferent, and his murderous aura spread out. I also advise you to put the chakra line away, or you will die. The boy with short red hair, who was about less than 10 years old, stopped when he heard Conan's words and silently closed the chakra line. The death of his parents made him feel insecure and wanted to do something that violated the taboo. It is precisely because few people come here that he makes puppets around here. Conan's sudden arrival made him stunned, but at the same time he wanted to see how strong his puppet was. But it wasn't until Conan got cold that he felt the terrible pressure and he would die at any time. When Conan was about to enter the temple again, the red-haired boy's expression changed and he immediately shouted, my name is Sasori. I became Chunin last year. I have done many tasks. I believe that I am no worse than anyone of my age. The 8 of you can kill more than 10,000 people, and when I grow up, I can kill more people. Please let me join you, hey, let alone our empire is like a villain. What to kill but not to kill? Conan took a closer look. I am definitely a little genius, at least much better than she used to be Zero. Didn't you say that there is a monster inside? Then, go in with me and prove your strength. After Conan finished speaking, he rushed into the temple. There is no need to care if mom wants to go undercover or not, it doesn't make sense. Is this a promise? It should be promised. Sasori couldn't help but squeezed his hand, his eyes flashed with complicated emotions that did not match his age. The reason why he is so eager to join is because he wants to become stronger as soon as possible. Uchiha Makoto, Uzumaki Kushina, Nagato, Yahiko, Conan. These 5 members of the Sacred Legion that are currently known by the ninja world. There are traces to prove that a few months ago, it was all children. A few months ago, the 5 people combined couldn't beat who they are now. But now, the other party just released some momentum and made him lose the courage to resist. That proves that only by joining the Invisible Empire can the fastest become stronger. Devil Lan Yu, what kind of person is he, really is a god? Sasori murmured and rushed into the temple without hesitation. As soon as Conan came in, he saw a huge prison, with a complicated seal attached, which was very wide, and an old man sat cross-legged. Lan Yu. Wow, Captain Yamamoto. The bald and bearded monk who is a bit like Captain Shinigami, it is Jinchuriki who divides the blessing. Jinchuriki of Tsunade One-Tail Shuhei has been imprisoned because of Jinchuriki's identity since he was born. Even his real name has been forgotten. But Fenfu and Shuhei get along very well and become friends of the soul. Except for San Shinobi, who patrols regularly every month, no one comes here at all. 5.6 Conan glanced at the old monk and said, "You are the poorest Jinchuriki I have ever seen." Jinchuriki. Fenfu opened his eyes slowly, his hands clasped together. Humans and tail beasts have no need to distinguish, and I don't feel pitiful for myself, you are. As he was about to continue speaking, he heard the screams from Shuhei. This damn woman has too much killing intent, she is here for my uncle. Fun, hurry, kill her. As soon as Conan arrived, Shuhei exploded. That kind of murderous aura that is not suppressed and full of deadly aura, Shuhei has for the first time an emotion other than anger towards humans, called fear. Who is it afraid of? Even the class, even the Hashirama, will suffer it at most, but he is determined not to be angry. But the unknown energy in the opponent made it really scared. Do not, even before Fenfu reacted, the door of the cage had been smashed by Conan with a sword, and he came to Fenfu in no time, and activated his abilities. The world reconciles, give you unknown, chapter 82. Yi Kang, a pitiful girl, will be an undercover from today, seeking support. Advertisement. Not good. For a moment, Fenfu felt that he was weak. Even the strength to mobilize chakra was gone, and he watched Conan instantly condense the medium-sized divine destruction. Boom. The dazzling loss of sacredness exploded directly on Fenfu, and the blood mist swayed. It was severely damaged by horror. After being imprisoned for decades, Fenfu, who had barely been active, almost died, and died on the spot in a coma. Ah, damn woman. I'm so angry with my uncle. Shohei's angry scream sounded deep in Fenfu's heart. But it can do nothing. The other Jinchuriki may explode and become the Shaoqiang of immune to death, but the seal of the second cage sand gate completely locks it, and there is no chance to come out. To shut up. Conan heard the cry from Shohei's soul. Suddenly, Ryotsu was transferred to suppress the past. When Morizu stopped, he grabbed Fenfu's body and turned and left. 4. Coming here, he looked at Conan who was carrying the monk in amazement. He saw Conan passing by, and he was about to speak, so he heard Conan say, "I'm not interested in taking you back to China and go by myself." Exhausted eyes lit up and ran away, outside the temple. A girl with dark green hair, but a long light orange hair on each side of the forehead protector, who looks only 17 or 18 years old. There is already a Jonin, just in time to get here. The temple was broken open, the Jonin girl couldn't help being solemn. Since there are two people from the Invisible Empire who came to Tsunade, and now only Tsunade is outside in 07, the other is not seen, so Ebizo takes the people to find them separately. At this moment, the other party is likely to be inside. The Jonin girl was immediately hidden in a corner. It is impossible for a single Jonin to face any one person in the 8-man group to win. This is an intelligence judgment. A few seconds later, Ebizo took a dozen elite Jonin to look for Conan's figure and happened to see Conan come out. Finally found, she is another Invisible Empire. That's not good. Ebizo's complexion changed drastically when he saw the faint old man in Conan's hands. Damn, what are your Invisible Empires going to do? As soon as I finished speaking, I saw Sasori coming out, and Ebizo's heart sank. Sasori, why are you here? Off, Grandpa Male. Sasori also took a step. This is his uncle, and then he said seriously. Grandpa Male, I want to kill Konoha's white Fang to avenge my parents, but Tsunade can't make me strong quickly, only the Invisible Empire can, so I want to defect. Ebizo couldn't believe it. What are you talking about? You are still a child, exhausted. Conan was also slightly surprised. Sasori and Hatake have a big feud? But this is not something Conan is considering. Sasori gritted his teeth and said, I'm sorry, Grandpa, I must go. After speaking, ran directly to the outside of the village. Go away. Conan let out a cold cry, and Ryotsu swept away. Ebizo and others were shocked and flew out. After watching Sasori run away, Conan was about to leave when a burning sensation hit. By steaming, Conan glanced slightly. I saw a woman rushing out from a corner, releasing 4 or 5 huge hot spheres to gather together, forming a huge sphere and flying over. The scorching heat in it is enough to evaporate the water in the opponent's body in a single blow. Turn the dead into mummies. Boom! Conan raised his hand as a medium-sized divine destruction. The scorching sphere suddenly burst, and the Jonin woman was also blown out. Conan glanced at her more, then turned and disappeared. Damn it. Ebizo was very angry and cared about the Jonin woman. After all, she is a rare genius in San Shinobi. Yukura, are you okay? Yi Kang shook his head. I'm fine. Damn it, chase it all. Seeing them all chasing, Yi Kang stroked his wound lightly, a touch of bitterness at the corner of his mouth. She is one of the children who suddenly grew up in the intelligence, but the gap is that big. What kind of person is that Demon King? Yi Kang was in a daze for a moment, his eyes firmed up. Followed closely. Outside Tsunade, the roar keeps on. Tsunade and third cage are still fighting. Such power is too unreasonable. Advertisement. Third Cage dodged Tsunade's fist dangerously and was shaken by the fist wind. He caught a glimpse of the huge gully blasted behind him, and was startled in a cold sweat. Terrible power, extremely fast movement speed, weird dodge ability. He found that he couldn't hit Tsunade at all. Looking at so many sand shinobi, Third Cage couldn't help but blush, and his heart was annoyed. Get out of the way, Umbra is going to expand, Flux Sand World. Sister Tsunade, stop playing and go. At this moment, Conan's voice came from far away. After hearing this, Tsunade waved his hand very simply. I will let you double this day, stop playing, goodbye. Third Cage. What does she say? Stop playing, way. Is Umbra playing with you, Huehu? Third Cage took a lot of violent gasps before calming down, full of melancholy. Chio, get the money ready, and send it to the Invisible Empire now, so as not to cause trouble again. At this moment, Third Cage really thought Tsunade was here to ask for debt. Ebizo rushed over and shouted from a distance, Master Feng, it's not good, Jinchuriki was taken away by the people of the Invisible Empire. Damn it. Third Cage was almost stunned and furious. 1,000 generations, you lead the team to stay, and the rest will chase after me, and seal the border between the Kingdom of Wind and the Invisible Empire. We must not let them run away. The dignified Yuyin Village was fooled by two women. Third Cage split directly and chased after him like crazy. Chio was also heavy in heart. He happened to see Yi Kang passing by and couldn't help saying, don't chase it. The task that Master Feng explained before will be carried out today. 07. Yi Kang clenched his hands subconsciously. Mission plan. In the name of defecting, enter the Invisible Empire, show your talents, get as close to Lan Yu as possible, and gain the same power as Uzumaki Kushina. The mission of a lifetime. Generally speaking, this is impossible to accomplish. But tasks such as undercover agents have to be done by someone, and she is just one of many undercover agents. Yhwach can only accept it. Many other forces have this idea. Konoha is also doing it. Even if only one succeeds, you can get information about the Empire. Chance. The small body was covered with a black robe, and taking advantage of the chaos, he cautiously dived into the ground and left Tsunade. To block the border between the two countries, it seems that it can only be bypassed from other places. The Invisible Empire, my mother is here too, Real World City. In just a few days, the flow of people on various streets has skyrocketed. It was all news from some spies first, and then some courageous businessmen came to stroll around. In the end, the stability and magnificence of the true world city will be spread throughout the ninja world. Especially after the Battle of Madara, countless people knew the power of Lan Yu. Why is Konoha so stable after more than 30 years of establishment? The main reason is two words: powerful. The same is true for the other 5 ninja villages. In the eyes of countless people, they are strong and stable. They can attract many people to do business, establish trade, and seek survival. And the Invisible Empire at this moment is obviously stronger than the 5 ninja villages. This has caused many people to come and marvel at the magnificence of True World City. A whole Kakuzu, what did he run to Kirigakure for? Jiraiya pulled her hair frantically, wanting to beat Kakuzu violently. Right now is the time for the great development of the Empire. You are the deputy head of the finance department. You need the approval of the finance department in many places. Jiraiya-sama, before Minister Kakuzu leaves, temporarily leave the approval to me. Because the Empire currently needs money, Minister Kakuzu is not easy. An ordinary middle-aged man said, I see. Jiraiya heaved a sigh of relief, but said cautiously, for those merchants, common people, etc., you can't buy and sell, you know, this is related to the image of the Empire, and the enemy ninja is a bit harsh and okay. Yes, I understand Master Jiraiya. The middle-aged people wiped a cold sweat, and it was really stressful to talk to these strong people. A country must have military and administration, and divide civil and military affairs. This is what Lan Yu has always attached great importance to. The ninja knows how to govern the country with a hammer, and only learns how to play ninjutsu since childhood. For example, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has been a Hokage for decades, still ruined the village. Decades of hard work can't transfer a village, let alone a country. Lan Yu doesn't understand at present, but as a king, you don't need to know too much. It's enough to consider balance, and the rest is left to each talent. At present, the political talent pool is not enough, and Jiraiya and others are more busy. Of course, Kakuzu is an exception. With his experience and dedication to money, no one in the ninja world understands money better than him, so he was directly accepted by Lan Yu as the deputy head of the finance department. Your Majesty, how about these things? Chapter 83. The Shy Tsunade, Cloud Shinobi, I will do it myself, seeking support. Advertisement in the main hall, Orochimaru placed a pile of objects. Lan Yu took a closer look, he told Orochimaru, and then imagined some modern technological objects created. Although, from the perspective of the 21st century, they are all old and antique, but they are much better than the current era. After all, computers were not available until Bo-Ren Chuan, and they were of the 80s and 90s. Of course, it can't be compared like that, it's just that the science and technology trees in the ninja world are very mixed, and the science and technology trees in different countries are different. These things, just relying on your ability to create are not enough, power or spiritual power problems, the construction of signal towers, etc., as well as various technologies. Lan Yu is playing with a big brother, which is really heavy. Orochimaru opened the mouth and said, Your Majesty, the technology products you mentioned, in fact, there are many technologies that have existed for a long time, but they have not been developed. I have integrated the technology these days, and I have clearly identified a technology line that fits your description. With normal development, the empire can be fully modernized as you mentioned in more than 10 years, but with my ability, a lot of time can be omitted, and it is estimated that 3 to 5 years. Lan Yu's forehead, he is not obsessed with making Ninja World a modern appearance. But there are always some things, and convenient communication is the basis of human progress. If you want to build a road before getting rich, many civilians can leave the village for a lifetime, so how can you do it? Of course, some countries in the ninja world have developed rapidly in science and technology, such as Sora no Kuni. The first appearance is modern technology such as aircraft carriers, energy cannons, sky fortresses, and flying planes. Thinking of this, Lan Yu asked, Have you heard of it in the Sky Country? Orochimaru thought, Your Majesty, I have heard of this name, but I don't know the details. Then you will take a team to this country to take a look. I believe there should be a lot of scientists and technologies there, and they will bring them back. Lan Yu doesn't lack time, but he likes to see the feeling of his country getting stronger and stronger. That's his sense of accomplishment. The finance department keeps saying that there is a lack of money, and this problem is left to the Academy of Sciences to solve. Hearing Lan Yu's words, Orochimaru was quite confident. Even Konoha has no extra money. Most of the money in the ninja world is in the hands of the famous palaces and families. But they, absolutely most of them are mixed eating and waiting to die waste. Some gadgets eliminated by the Academy of Sciences, I believe they will buy them like crazy. Yes. Lan Yu quite agrees. Kakuzu's behavior of robbing money is fine once in a while, every time it is robbed, it is not in line with the style of the empire. Xian, stop now, Jin Yun, this is the chamber, so you can't fly around. There was an exclamation from Konan and Tsunade from the outside world. The two women sat on the cloud created by Lan Yu's fantasy and flew quickly. The two women said it was useless to block the border. It's another tail beast. Lan Yu was very satisfied with the efficiency of the two women, and immediately looked at Orochimaru. That's it, don't rush to study military technology, first develop people's livelihood science and technology, and go on. Yes, Your Majesty. Orochimaru turned and left. After walking out of the hall, I saw Tsunade and Konan walking together, and couldn't help but say, it's surprising to be back so soon. Tsunade shrugged. No way, it's just so strong. Orochimaru's eyelids twitched, and Tsunade became familiar. Your Majesty is inside, I'll go one step ahead. The two female jaws slowly walked into the hall. I don't know if it is an illusion. The two women think that the man on the throne is more handsome today. Lan Yu. Well, good eyes, Your Majesty, one tail has finished capturing, please give instructions. Thanks, there is nothing wrong for the time being. Lan Yu looked at the dying part of the blessing, and counted how many tail beasts still existed. Only 2 tails of 8 tails are left. Having said that, Mist Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, Konoha were all made angry by Lan Yu or his subordinates, and only Cloud Shinobi stood out from the crowd. Maybe they would unite to fight the Empire soon, but Lan Yu didn't care. Thinking of this too, Konan suggested, Your Majesty, Kushina and the others have gone to Konoha or considered it, so let's let Sister Tsunade and I catch the remaining tail beasts. Yes, Konan is right. Tsunade is also eager to try, her power needs to be vented. Apart from 9 tails, 8 tails is the strongest, and I don't know how it will be in hand-to-hand combat. This woman is getting more and more violent. Seeing Tsunade's violent factor awakening, Lan Yu couldn't help feeling. Holy writing. Strength, is it given to the wrong person, who will resist it in the future? Your Majesty, what are you looking at? Being watched so affectionately by Lan Yu, Tsunade couldn't help but be upset. Under Konan's stunned gaze, Tsunade, full of violent factors. She was as shy as a delicate little woman, and she shyly pinched the corner of her clothes. Only then did Konan understand that it was not Tsunade violence, but that she had never met someone who made her gentle before, and it happened to be Her Majesty. Lan Yu calmly retracted his gaze and stood up and said, this time the 8 tails of Cloud Shinobi Village caught the second tail. Advertisement, I will do it myself. What? Konan's eyes widened, and Tsunade, who was originally shy, also shook his heart. The two women felt very incredible, because, too bully. But a little bit, neither of the two women yelled at all, saying no, inappropriate, etc. Because the king's decision cannot be refuted, I'm not from Ninja World. Lan Yu said in his heart, he has not seen the scenery of Shinobi. For the first 3 months, the Konoha orphanage stayed, and for the next 3 months, stayed with the 2 girls in the Lingza space. Staying at home these days. As a person with ambition to accommodate everything, he doesn't even know how big the ninja world is, the customs and waters of the ninja world, how can it be done? Ninja world is so big, he wants to see it, mainly, there are only 2 tail beasts left, and Lan Yu is looking forward to the result. In the 2 days I left, small matters were resolved by myself and negotiated together. With that, Lan Yu looked at Guanli's Konan. If there are endless arguments, I finally decide to leave it to Konan. Yes, Your Majesty. The 2 women responded. Konan's heart was warm, she was already Lan Yu's woman that night, and she could feel the love from Lan Yu at this moment. Inexplicable envy is such a thing. Seeing Konan's endless smile of happiness, Tsunade complained to himself. In other words, is Your Majesty's eyes affectionate, just now? Tsunade looked up at Lan Yu, then immediately lowered his head, his face flushed, and his heart was upset. Brush. Lan Yu leaves the Empire. Regarding the Empire, Lan Yu didn't worry at all. If there will be trouble after 2 days away, then this country will basically be abolished. Konoha Village. Hokage office. At this moment, Sarutobi and Danzo were arguing about something, blushing with thick necks. Danzo, I will never allow you to do this. Sarutobi, I think you are old. Do you know how much impact this will have? Hey, be more concealed, who knows? You. Looking at Danzo with a cruel expression, Sarutobi Hiruzen trembled with anger. What is Danzo going to do? He even wanted to take down the Hatake clan. They were imprisoned, and Hatake Sakumo attracted by the way to take them down. Not only that, but also forcing the Uchiha clan to hand over Mikoto's family. Also, you want to grab Fugaku's Mangekyo? What's more terrifying is that even Senju Nawaki has to take it. It means that all the relatives of those who join the Invisible Empire will be taken down. Crazy, really you are crazy. A series of things. Sarutobi feels Danzo, Wang Li Jiao, is crazy. Are you afraid that everyone in the Empire will kill you? Seeing Sarutobi getting a little angry, Danzo sneered. The information has been confirmed. Hatake Sakumo is currently in True World City, talking and laughing with Jiraiya. What does this mean? The ridiculous Konoha's White Fang is now the Empire White Fang. Listening to this, Sarutobi gritted his teeth and said, I don't believe you will rebel. Danzo disdain. Do you believe this sentence? Sarutobi was silent. After all, Hatake Sakumo appeared in True World City in an open manner. Re-associated with Yuri Zhenheng, White Fang was called by Lan Yu once. There is a high chance that Sanin, like Sanin, betrayed unclearly. Sarutobi said in a deep voice, even if he really rebels, what does this have to do with the Hatake clan? It is Hokage's duty to protect Konoha Shinobi and civilians, and I will never allow you to do this. Ah. Danzo directly made Sarutobi angry. What do you mean, Danzo? Ah, Sarutobi feels that his personality has been insulted. What do you mean? Do you still want to hack me? Chapter 84. Namikaze Minato. You are forcing me blacken, please support. Advertisement Sarutobi is full of dissatisfaction with Danzo's attempt to hack himself. Danzo sneered and said, don't pretend, here are the two of us, who is cleaner than the other. Choose. 1. Lan Yu's intelligence. 2. Uzumaki Kushina, Tsunade, Uchiha Mikoto, and other families, and all the people of the Hatake clan. As long as one is drawn in and willing to divulge information, we are successful. Which one do you choose? Sarutobi. Danzo cruelly said, to tell you the truth, Uzumaki Nanako has been arrested by me. Cousin Kushina. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth, finally looking sad. He felt that Danzo was a devil, leading him to fall step by step. Of course, he is Hokage after all. As long as he doesn't want it, Danzo can't do it any better. In the final analysis, it was his indulgence towards Danzo and his selfishness. Seeing Sarutobi's face change, Danzo sneered inwardly. Sarutobi, although I am very grateful for your care for me, you are really old. Ran Ranju is vicious enough, I like it. At the same time, another cold voice came from Danzo's heart, which immediately made his face look ugly. Danzo felt uncomfortable when he thought of this guy who brought the container white Zetsu, and the powerful cells attached to him. But they compromised before and live in harmony. I said, don't disturb me at will, Black Zetsu. 670. Gia, I just want to remind you, don't play these boring conspiracies, reincarnation is the key point. It's what two hands are ready to understand, shut up. As Black Zetsu fell silent, Danzo looked at Sarutobi and gave a low voice. Everything is for Konoha. In a word, Shanren woke up Sarutobi Hiruzen. Yes, I am not degenerate, nor am I lost in my mind by Danzo's words. I do it all for Konoha. With Lan Yu's strong Yamato ambition, if he can't find out his specific information, Konoha will be finished. As long as it is good for Konoha, it is right. Thinking of this, Sarutobi said in a condensed voice. Your plan is full of loopholes, and it is likely to cause revenge from the Invisible Empire. It needs to be replanned and... Why do you want to grab Fugaku's eye? He is the patriarch now. I don't know on what basis Danzo guessed that Fugaku has Mangekyo. But Sarutobi has always been very jealous of Uchiha, which is likely to cause chaos. Master Hokage, I want to see Master Hokage, please let me in. Danzo, who was about to say something, was suddenly interrupted by an urgent child shouting outside the office. This makes Danzo very upset. Whose kid? Get rid of him. An Anbu ninja arrived in a flash and said, Master Hokage, Master Danzo, Genin, Namikaze Minato who just passed the graduation exam the day before yesterday. Namikaze Minato, AHFG, Sarutobi couldn't help being surprised, and only summoned him the day before yesterday. After all, he has always been the number one in his grade. Although he was born as a commoner, his talent is very good. Originally planned to wait for him to graduate, let him become a student of his own disciple. For example, Jiraiya taught him that the plan could not keep up with the changes. The rise of the empire can only delegate that task to Minato. Seeing Danzo's cold eyes, Sarutobi said, let's calm down and wait until I have settled Namikaze Minato's matter before discussing. Let him come in. Danzo snorted and didn't rush away. Master Hokage, Master Danzo. When Namikaze Minato came in, he first saluted very politely, and then his face was full of urgency and worry. Hokage-sama, Uzumaki Nanako hasn't been to class for 2 days. I can't find anyone in her house. Can you find someone for me? I can post the task. Sorry, I really can't help it. Namikaze Minato is full of worries. Uzumaki Nanako's mood has been very depressed these months. He is really afraid that the other party will do something stupid. Danzo's expression became cold. I just skipped class for 2 days. This bit of trouble is still troublesome, Hokage. Did you buy this genin with money? Namikaze Minato squeezed her hand, unable to help but feel bitter. Sarutobi's expression changed slightly, and he comforted. Uzumaki Nanako, I know, is a very good child. Konoha is safe and safe. You go back and wait. If you can't find it anymore, it's not too late to release the task. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen looks very serious. Minato, I believe you are the successor of the Will of Fire. You can accomplish that task, right? Advertisement, yes, promise to complete the task. Namikaze Minato spoke subconsciously. After graduation the day before yesterday, Sarutobi sent someone to look for him. His mission is the same as that of Tsunade Yekura. They are all looking for a reason to wander into the Invisible Empire in the name of defecting. Find opportunities to show your talents and join the Invisible Empire, become an empire lead like Nagato and others, and pass on information. Similarly, Namikaze Minato is just one of Konoha's undercover personnel. As for other undercover agents, Minato is also not clear. Danzo said indifferently. Since you are an undercover agent, you can't expose it easily. Go back and kill your parents for fun. Namikaze Minato. My parents have passed away. Danzo continued to sneer. Then there are always friends, you go slaughter. Minato clenched his fists. Is there a problem with this Hokage assistant brain? Itachi. What a familiar plan. Sarutobi gave a light cough. I'm preparing the plan. Danzo, don't mess with it. Hokage-sama, Nanako and her, what Namikaze Minato was about to say. I can see Sarutobi's strange eyes and Danzo refrigerant's look. Master Hokage, I will withdraw first. Namikaze Minato hurriedly left. When I ran far away from the Hokage building, I leaned on a corner wall and felt depressed. For Konoha, it's okay to accept the mission of a lifeless undercover. Why does Hokage-sama's expression change when I mention Nanako, and Danzo-sama is too ruthless to me, right? Don't tolerate Namikaze Minato's random thoughts. He has been very observant since he was a child, and there is always something wrong with the attitude of the two Uzumaki Nanako. Most importantly, as Sarutobi said, Konoha is currently safe. Where can Uzumaki Nanako go? But in the past few days, except for some forbidden areas and large family areas, Konoha has been around and can't be found. Only these few hairs. Namikaze Minato holds a few red hairs, which were found near Nanako's house. Looking all the way, I did find a few hairs, which should have been deliberately left by Nanako. But there is Konoha's restricted area, a new base for the roots. No, Nanako will have no trouble, she is just a very ordinary girl. Namikaze Minato quickly cut off his cranky thoughts, and searched for it again with a heavy heart. What Minato didn't know was, as soon as he left, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Danzo seriously. I saw, okay, you just caught an unimportant student and you have some questions. If you switch to Senju Nawaki, Konoha will be messed up. Danzo sneered disdainfully. If you have a problem, solve the problem. For the Senju family's such strong reputation and power, you have long been upset? Shimura Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen brushed and stood up, his eyes sharp. Others I can tolerate you, but that is the Senju clan, the family of the first-generation Kagewa teacher, and the best inheritor of the Will of Fire. The teacher has already made a balance plan for the Senju family. I don't want to hear about the Senju family's accident. Danzo yelled and sneered. I don't know who it is. At the beginning of World War II, the elites of the Senju clan were continuously sent to the battlefield. The beautiful name is. Let the glory of the Senju clan resound through the world of Shinobi once again, and another Hokage will lead Konoha to prosper. This sentence made the Senju family crazy. Soldiers are not bloody, a good method. If World War II hadn't come to an abrupt end, God knows how many Senju clan would survive. The specific plan needs to be perfected, but Lan Yu is not, huh? As Sarutobi Hiruzen was talking, he suddenly felt anxious and frowned. It should be because I haven't rested these days and... Boom! After speaking, there was a terrible explosion outside. The entire Hokage building shook, even the windows were shaken to pieces, and a cloud of dust blew in. Konoha shakes. Chapter 85. God of Nagato. Konoha, how many floors a bag of rice has to hit, seeking support? Advertisement, damn it, what happened? Sarutobi Hiruzen was annoyed, and quickly blew away the dust, staring at the window with wide eyes. At this moment, even Danzo couldn't help but breathe. Where is the Hokage building? At the deepest part of Konoha, below Hokage Rock. This. But the two of them glanced over and saw the Hokage Rock belonging to Sarutobi Hiruzen. I don't know what was blown up, only half of my head is left. Seeing this, Sarutobi cracked open and roared. Call in ninjas to catch the guy who destroyed Hokage Rock and kill me on the spot. Sarutobi, who had been suppressed by the presence of Lan Yu, saw the Hokage Rock burst, and all his anger finally found a point of venting. No, I want him to die. Seeing Sarutobi so angry, Danzo couldn't help but feel shocked. At the same time, Sarutobi also rushed out of the Hokage building with Enbu, full of murderous intent. Medium Divine lost. Nagato, standing on a tall building, once again condensed a huge arrow. Hey! Under the shocked and astonished gazes of many Konoha shinobi, a stream of light flashed across the sky again. The Sarutobi Hokage rock, which was half destroyed, suffered a terrible explosion again. Completely destroy the Hokage rock in Sarutobi, another explosion shocked Konoha. The prosperous and quiet village was plunged into chaos, and there were crowds screaming and fleeing everywhere. Nagato him. Kushina and Makoto who came from behind were also shocked. They thought that Nagato was interested in Konoha to come around. But I didn't expect it to explode Hokage rock. This child has grievances and needs to be resolved. Hatake Sakumo frowned slightly and then hurried towards the family. 0+0. Nagato overlooks Konoha village with a blank face. The prosperity here is in sharp contrast with the former rain country. Whenever I think that my parents died in the hands of the Konoha shinobi, I always have an indelible hatred for the Konoha shinobi, and I always want to vent it. There is revenge, and the thought is masterful. Quack. Countless figures flashed past quickly. Sarutobi had already arrived with a large number of Konoha shinobi, staring at the white figures on the tall buildings. As this third Hokage? Looking at the countless Konoha shinobi who are still increasing in number, he glanced at Sarutobi more, and Nagato's expression remained unchanged. You, are you? After seeing Nagato's wearing image clearly, Sarutobi couldn't help being shocked. Many Konoha shinobi's eyes widened in amazement. Dressed in a white quincy suit, with long red hair, the whole body exudes a strong aura that is incompatible with a ninja. Turned out to be from the Invisible Empire, the red hair of the Uzumaki clan. Sarutobi took a deep breath and was full of anger. In the information. Right, do you know what you did? This is trampling on my dignity of Konoha. Hokage rock is destroyed, that's a shame. In Sarutobi's view, this is even more unforgivable than Lan Yu killing hundreds of Konoha shinobi. If he doesn't do anything, everyone in Konoha will be disappointed in him. Nagato glanced at Sarutobi coldly, ignored it, looked down below, and spoke coldly. A bag of rice has to resist several floors, feel the pain. A bag of rice must resist the second floor, think pain. A bag of rice kisses so much, accept the pain. A bag of rice kisses me, washes and mocks, understand the pain. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was about to start, was stunned. Other Konoha shinobi people also feel sorry for watching. Konoha. Just because of a bag of rice, are you going to FKS? Boom. Nagato's Ryotsu broke out in an instant. For a while, Makoto, Hatake Sakumo and Makoto who were looking for their families were alarmed. Even the man who felt black zetsu from outside the village couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Ryotsu swooped down, and Sarutobi's expression changed drastically. Many ninjas all around were lying on the ground. Even some genins were shocked to death on the spot. This guy is really good. Kushina was surprised to glance at her, marveling at Nagato's talent. Hiss. Under the building, all the ninjas and civilians who looked over were stunned, and Nagato's figure gradually flew up. Flying higher and higher, everyone was stunned. Nagato floated in the air. More than that, Nagato's head was wrapped in a collar cloth, a pair of solid yellow stripes appeared on his face, a huge halo appeared on the top of his head, and his body was covered by a pupa. Advertisement. The arm was replaced by a hole-shaped white eight-winged outstretched back. The terrifying aura swept all directions. Guru. Looking at this posture of Nagato, many ninjas were all horrified. They feel that they are not fighting people, but God. End of Eucharist. God's sanctions. Nagato whispered slightly, the sanction of God is his title of perfect communion. In this form, Nagato can float in the air, it is immune to physical damage, and the hole-shaped white eight wings on the back can release all things from a long distance. The body can also be turned into a soul to track opponents. There is mud in your mouth. From now on, Nagato overlooked Konoha village indifferently like a god, and the eight-winged wings on his body condensed a light full of destructive energy. Who gave you a bag of rice to kiss, to make the world feel pain? In an instant, countless people felt the deadly danger. Summoning King Kong wishful. Between the lightning and the fire, I saw Sarutobi directly turning his summoning beast, ape, and demon into a King Kong wishful stick, lying in front of him. Zhang Zhenin leaves here and organizes the evacuation of civilians, hurry. Hey, I saw the King Kong wishful stick suddenly turned into a huge cylinder and struck Nagato directly. In the face of the coming wishful stick, Nagato did not lift his eyelids and directly released all things through. I saw Nagato's white eight wings directly blasted out 8 bright golden lights. One of them directly collided with the wishful stick. 0. Look for flowers. What? Under Sarutobi's shock, the wishful stick was directly penetrated through a huge hole, and an extremely painful sound was heard from it. Damn it, the abdomen is penetrated. The ape demon that turned into a wishful stick has a weak aura. It has never felt such a strong pain, and its soul is torn apart. Sarutobi, I'm sorry, my injury is too serious. Ka. The wishful stick disappeared, and Sarutobi also saw a heart-piercing scene. The 8 golden rays of Nagato lacing are like a long-range laser cannon. Everything that is swept by the golden rays is penetrated and annihilated. In the blink of an eye, Konoha saw dozens of huge ravines. Boom. A golden light swept across the Hokage rock, completely collapsed. None of the heads were left, and even caused the collapse of Hokage rock, which fell on the Hokage building. The 3 Hokage portraits were completely scrapped, making all the ninjas completely angry. Die to me. A asterisk hole. Seeing the scene that collapsed and penetrated everywhere, Sarutobi roared and instantly sealed. Fire-style Fire Dragon Bomb. Earth-style Earth Dragon Bullet. Composite Ninja Earth Dragon Yan Lu. Sarutobi displayed two different types of ninjutsu at the same time, Fire-style and Earth-style, and formed a new compound ninjutsu in an instant. Roar. The ground under everyone's feet vibrated wildly, and saw a huge earth dragon rising into the sky. Opening the huge dragon's mouth, spit out huge flame bombs and bombarded Nagato, and the sky was dyed red with fierce power. Master Hokage is amazing. Stop talking nonsense, attack together. Seeing Sarutobi's compound ninjutsu, almost all Konoha's ninjas around the scene showed admiration. But the enemy is in front, all the ninjas released their ninjutsu towards the sky. What made everyone happy and angry was that Nagato, floating in the sky, didn't move, only releasing golden light of destruction at Konoha, and didn't intend to avoid it at all. Look down on us. Suddenly, the sky attack drowned Nagato. Boom boom boom. The Konoha shinobi who held their breath stared at the sky like countless fireworks intertwined and burst. When the ninjutsu was gone, Sarutobi screamed in disbelief. How is it possible? You just didn't avoid it at all. The Konoha shinobi suffocated too, because the Nagato in the sky was unscathed, as if their ninjutsu had let go of loneliness. In the state of God's sanction, Nagato can ignore physical attacks, and only some special abilities can be injured, semi-invincible. No, go back. Seeing Nagato overlooking, Sarutobi hears and exclaimed and flew back quickly. The 8 golden lights gathered together and instantly fell into the ninja group. With only a bang, a huge and indescribable abyss appeared on the spot. In an instant, there were countless casualties. This kid isn't ruthless enough. The hockey man outside the village uttered such a whisper. Konoha, isn't it ruthless enough? So are you coming? Door.